While we have the toss-up in the centre circle with the referee and the mascots, let's get Ian Dunn from York City Strikers' thoughts on this. What have people been saying to you up there? It's a big game, this.
Yeah, a lot of people saying how excited they are with the lineup. It seems a much more attacking lineup. Looking forward to seeing how Finley Barnes performs. So, yeah, lots of positive people up there, ready for a big game. They know how important it is, David. They know where we are as a team. But hey, can we go out here and put in a performance against Dorking, who are no world beaters, are they?
I know there's a few people stuck at home tonight. They've got the bug, the winter flu bug, or not feeling that great in the middle of February. So Michael Miles, hope you get better soon. Y-front, of course, he's not able to make the game tonight. And neither is Dave Salty, who sits across there to our left-hand side, Ian. Yeah,
apparently, I think his shepherd's pie is about ready.
Does that mean that we've got a chance some food here tonight?
Oh, yeah, who knows? Salty, I've known Salty for years. Top bloke, top man. Hope he's not feeling too bad, and hopefully City can get 3 points for him tonight.
Looks like York City going to be kicking off, shooting from left to right in their traditional home kit, red shirts, blue shorts, white socks. Dorking all in white with a red and blue stripe down the left-hand side of their shirt and down their shorts. Referee just checking everyone is okay. There's quite a decent number of Dorking fans have made the long journey for this rearranged fixture, probably buoyed by the half-price entrance fee. And City get the game underway by going to Dan Batty. He gives it to Ryan Fallowfield, the York City captain. Finley Barnes, first early touch for him. Back to Fallowfield on halfway. Batty round the corner to Barnes. Still, the only 3 York City players who have had a touch so far. Barnes back to Batty. Now he goes forward to Billy Chadwick, to Barnes, who bursts forward, edge of the penalty. Barnes takes on the shot. A goalkeeper palms it around his post. Wow. Almost the brilliant immediate start from Finley Barnes. He ran to the edge of the penalty area, got to the edge of the D, and then tried a little curler with his left foot. And the goalkeeper had to palm it wide of the post. First corner within 30 seconds.
Well, that would have been exciting, but I think you just said, David, he's one of only 3 players to have touched the ball. He's touched it 4 times already, and each touch was lovely. And then that shot was, he struck it beautifully. It's a good save from the keeper. Really good start from Finley Barnes.
So corner kick, York City, far side of the ground. Of course, it was the corner that got them the goal at Southend. Amos drills it in deep into the middle. One at the back post by Smith, tipped over the bar by the goalkeeper. Wow. Headed into the ground, it bounced up. It was comfortable for Mail, but it's the second City corner. Yeah,
this is City having a go, aren't they? This is in the first couple of minutes of this match. They really are putting pressure on the Dorking goal.
The other thing I noticed as well in that first attack is that Chadwick found himself out on this right-hand side with Finley Barnes. I don't know if he'd just been dragged across because he wanted to get involved, or if he is going to play in just behind the front 2 of Finley Barnes and Dibu Akinyemi.
Which it would be interesting to see. Like I say, I think Billy Chadwick in behind the front 2 would be my choice, looking at the kind of player he is. But maybe it's a flexible 3. They'll all play right across that line.
Amos takes this second corner, drills it in again, doesn't beat the first man. He's going to get a chance to do it again, though. Third corner about to come in for York City in the opening 2 minutes.
Yeah, Amos there, he didn't be the first man, but because he whips it in, the defender can't do much with it. It's going to come off at an angle or something. He gets another corner, which he has done, I think. Yeah, it's not just ballooned across. He's whipping it in with intent.
Lots of empty seats around us here in the east stand, which is relatively unusual for this corner kick, and it comes down that he does scuff this one, but it's scuffed clearance as well from Dorking at the far side, and the white shirts have it for the first time this evening. They come forward to halfway, and it was Finley Barnes again who put pressure on the man on the ball, won it back for York City, and York City win a throw in on halfway.
Yeah, and that was, it was a poor corner, but Danny Amos, because it was whipped in, Dorking couldn't really deal with it either.
But you can see now that the ball is out of play. It is a front 3, and Chadwick is across on that left-hand side, with Finley Barnes on this right-hand side. Throw-in taken by Amos down the line. Looking for Akinyemi, headed away by Dorking. Another throw into York City. They've gained 15 yards down that far side of the ground. When the ball boy, or the ball girl, I think it is over there, gives Amos the ball back. She picked it up and then walking back to her spot with the ball. Yeah. Amos had to go chasing after and say, "You're supposed to give it to me." He takes the throw in, gives it to Chadwick. Chadwick tries to spread the play across this near side to Fallowfield. On the volley, big up and under, looking for Finley Barnes. Headed away by the Dorking defence. Picked up by Dan Batty. Got the better there of Dan Pybus. Surely tonight will not be the return of the ex. Dan Pybus, 46 appearances for York City, no goals and no assists.
I can't believe you've said that. With 3 minutes gone, why would you
giving
say
out the
that?
facts, Ian.
No, I mean, well, crikey, yeah. Let's hope not. I always rated Dan Piper, so it was a good player. Just it tailed off for him, didn't it? Just fell out with the club, I think. That seemed a strange one to lose after we just signed him on a bit of a contract. It was a dodgy time of our career as a club.
Dorking come forward down this left hand. There've been a few dodgy times in recent times. Pybus has the ball, and he spreads it across the far side of the field to George Frankham. Down the line, Dorking man goes to ground, throws himself to ground. The referee says no.
Interesting.
It did look like a foul to me. The referee was having none of it. Dorking out happy with Richard Aspinall here.
Referee's done well there. Let's hope he continues in that vein this evening. We have had him before.
We certainly have. It's going to be a goal kick to York City. That Sykes Kenworthy gets ready to take. Eventually from the left-hand side of his penalty area. 4.5 minutes gone, still goalless. But a decent start by Neil Ardley's side. Headed forward, and Crooks is going to let it go into touch. Still got that big white headband covering that cut above his eye. Was Adam Crooks on the far side of the ground. I
think someone said before the game, didn't they? He was outstanding on Saturday as far as defensively. So solid.
Yeah, he won everything in the air. Adam Crooks. Distribution not the greatest at times, but you don't get the perfect package at National League level generally.
No, not
he's
all
there
the
to
time.
defend, and he's a decent defender on that left-hand side. That's a poor touch from Amos as he tries to control that. Just skews off his chest and goes into touch for a throw in front of the Dorking fans. Mention the number of Dorking fans, there are probably 3 figures over there, which is pretty decent for a Tuesday evening. Mark White's in the having a go at the 4th official for whatever reason. The 4th official's just laughing. No idea what he said to him. Down this near side. Long ball over the top. Akinyemi's got behind the defenders. Good covering there, though, by Tony Craig. Vastly experienced. Over 800 career appearances for him now. Been around forever. York City have a throw-in. Halfway inside the Dorking half. Amos again, down the left-hand side. Down the line, looking for Akinyemi. Easily dealt with by the Dorking defence. Now they try and come forward, but they give away possession. And Woodyard gets his first touch for York City. Gives it to Will Smith. Looking more and more accomplished with every performance, Will Smith on the right-hand side of those 3 centre-backs. Into midfield to Chadwick, who again has come searching for the ball. Now he lays it off to Crooks on the left. Ball forward to Akinyemi. Lays it off to Chadwick just outside the D. He's going to spend it out to this right-hand side. Fallowfield. Back to Batty. Good tackle comes in from Chadwick. Fallowfield crossing to the box, headed away by Dorking. And they complete the clearance now with a big up and under to Callum Howe. He nods it back forward. And Dorking in their all-white kit are once again able to clear their lines. And Callum Howe over the top to Akinyemi, just come back on side. Chests it down to Chadwick, gets a round of applause. Dan Batty, Fallowfield. Back to Smith. Good possession this from York City.
It's been good play from York City. Really good, crisp passing, and they're looking for a forward ball.
Long diagonal ball from Batty, looking for Akinyemi. Offside flag goes up as Dorking struggled to deal with it. It has. I don't know if anyone was watching the football last night on the telly. Gary Neville was getting very, very frustrated with Chelsea, and talk about teams just knocking it around at the back, side to side, square passes backwards, not going forward. It was driving him absolutely bananas. And that, I think, was what York City were doing in the first couple of months under Neil Ardley. There does now seem to be a little bit more of a pattern to it. And they are trying to get it forward that little bit faster. Definitely.
He's building them blocks, and you've got to get to that stage where you can trust your players to keep the ball, but also to find that attacking, that sort of glory pass, I suppose. But you need that to win games. And City certainly tonight have started off. You can see it. They've started off really looking forward.
Foul on Charlie Carter as he dropped deep looking for the ball there.
I think having Batty and Woodyard in there as well, David, it just allows your attacking players that little bit more freedom. They're not maybe too worried about having to track back in because they know they've got them two in there tight and keeping things knitted together.
Dan Pybus is going to take this free kick on halfway, left-hand side. High line from York City. Long diagonal crossfield ball comes off the head of Callum Howe. And Smith's going to keep that in play on the far side. And he clears his lines. And the Dorking will go back to their goalkeeper. Now they come across this near side once more to Bobby Joe Taylor. Pybus again back to Harrison Mayle in his all-purple kit. And how he found his way down to Dorking after being at Leeds United and then Tadcaster Albion. It's an interesting move.
That is an interesting move. Yeah, it's obviously someone's done the scouting there, or he knows the dad.
Maybe, yes. Dorking have it in midfield. Pybus to this left-hand side to Bobby Joe Taylor up towards the edge of that York City box. Got an overlap. Now the cross can come in from Hollis. Shot comes in. It's just past the post. That was half a chance for Dorking. It was slack marking. Pryor got away from his man. 10 yards out of goal. Level with this near post. He just couldn't hook his foot around it to direct it on target. Yeah,
that was a good move from Dorking. Just reminding everyone that they are actually here. Really good football down this left-hand side. Whipped in. He's never going to cause George Sykes-Kenway with much danger, but yeah, they've got some attacking players in their team as well.
They've also swapped their wing-backs already of Dorking here, and Tom Blair's now come across this left-hand side, and Bobby Joe Taylor's gone to the right. I don't know if that was after that Finlay Barnes dart in the opening couple of moments that has encouraged them to do that, but that's how they're playing at the minute.
I don't know if Neil Ardley was, I might have got this wrong, but he was screaming 4-4-2, I think, as if have Dorking changed to 4-4-2, but has he seen something we haven't?
Well, now they've got a throw in,
yeah,
and Bobby Joe Taylor's come across to play at left back and to push Blair a little bit further up on this left hand side. So maybe they have gone 4-4-2.
Yeah, just Neil Ardley, I think I was trying to see what he was saying to the players, but it looked like he was saying 4-4-2. They've changed.
And he will be right. Tackle comes in from Howe.
No.
Fallowfield for York City. And now Crooks has it. And now look.
4-4-2.
But look where Bobby Joe Taylor's gone across. He's going back. He's just following Finlay Barnes. They've put a man-to-man marking job here on Finlay Barnes with Bobby Joe Taylor.
Yeah, it's not 4-4-2. It looks like it, but you're right. They haven't. They've gone man for man with Finlay Barnes.
It's left loads of space there for Will Smith to come forward for York City, up towards the edge of the box. Smith gets past his man and now lays it off to Ryan Fallowfield. Wants to put a cross in, goes back to Finlay Barnes, who has Bobby Joe Taylor on him. Barnes still manages to get a deep cross in. It's too deep, and Amos, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to keep that in play. Yeah. Well, it's not very often you see man-to-man jobs at this level. I know he did a man-to-man job as well on Saturday against one of the Halifax players. It didn't work out very well for them then.
No, Mark White's the manager, and he'll have his reasons, but he's obviously thought them first few minutes Finlay Barnes looked like the danger, so maybe it seems early to go man for man, change your tactics for one player. He was good, it wasn't, outstanding.
Look at him again. As soon as York City get the ball, he goes and places himself on Finlay Barnes. Mansfield 1, Harrogate Town 0 on DAB. Early lead for Nigel Clough's side there.
So it's kind of a 4-4-2, but you're right. The number 3 is just drifting in. Wherever Finlay Barnes goes, he's just drifting in with him. That's got to leave gaps. That's got to leave gaps with this left-back space for York City to exploit.
Dorkingham at the centre of the field. York win it back, though, well, through Chadwick. Poor first touch, though, from Billy Chadwick. The ball gets away from him.
What I'd be screaming to Finlay Barnes is drift over. Drift deep and over. Leave that gap in for Fallowfield to exploit.
Thrown to York on halfway, far side of the field. I think this is one of 6 games tonight in the National League. Try and keep you up to date with what's going on elsewhere. As Smith gets it for York City. Barnes, and the foul by Bobby Joe Taylor right through the back of him. As soon as he got the ball, the tackle came in.
Well, that's the other thing that might happen to Finlay Barnes if he's being targeted. If he shows any of the ball to the opposition player, he's going to get a challenge.
Do you think he knows much about Finlay Barnes, or he just stuck to what he saw in that first minute? Because it's a bit of a coup for Finlay Barnes on your debut. Suddenly you're the man who's picked out as the danger man.
Yeah, I think Mark White's reacted to those first 3 minutes.
Just one goal. FC Halifax Town 1, Maidenhead 0 in the National League so far tonight. Cross comes into the box for York City. Free header, Callum Howe into the middle. Headed away by Dorking. Pybus gives it away. Sent back into the middle. Picked up by York City. Fallowfield in the centre circle. Looking for Callum Howe, who's still forward from the free kick. Doesn't find him. Apologises. Dorking head well clear of their goal. Thrown to York City 15 yards inside their own half.
It was the right idea from Fallowfield there. He knew Howe was still up there, just poorly executed, but it was the right idea. It happened on Saturday, didn't it, when Howe was left up and we didn't just launch it to him. He wins lots of headers, Callum Howe.
Thrown down the line by Crooks. Headed clear by Dorking. Centre of the park. Pryor can't hold it up. Neither can Amos for York. Woodyard does his best, but it's a bit scrappy over there. And Dorking come forward through the centre of the field. There's a bit of a gap. Good tackle by Finley Barnes. Or was it Amos? It was Amos, wasn't it, there? Who put the tackle in, and it falls kindly for Smith. Smith into the centre of the field, looking for Akinyemi. Not a good ball from him. And it's played all the way back to his goalkeeper by Hayden Hollis. Hollis and Mail exchange passes. 0-0. 14 minutes gone. First of 3 home games this for York City in a week. Dagenham and Redbridge here at the weekend. And then there'll be a big crowd, you would have thought, for the game against Oldham in 7 days' time. Imagine a sold-out away end, almost cut out that pass across the back by York City. Dorking get away with it. Imagine what, 1,700 Oldham fans will make the journey across. So it should be best part of 6,000 here next Tuesday.
Yeah, it's like classic big game, isn't it? Should be a heck of an atmosphere.
Well, we'll be if York can pick up a few more points in the next couple of games before then.
Yeah.
They can start having a bit of a go at some of these teams. Joe Taylor goes back to Mail. Mail clears back to Bobby Jota. That's a good pick out from him. Infield it comes, and now Pybus does well to turn away. Gets a few boos from the York City supporters around us. Now to the right-hand side it goes. They come forward down that right-hand side. McManus. Tackle comes in on him. It's a throw into Dorking. Taken quickly. Back into the centre of the park it goes. Picked up by Josh Taylor. Now to the back. They're going to try and recycle it again down the York City right. The Dorking left. Bobby Joe Taylor. Intercepted well by Finley Barnes, and a nice back pass to pick out Sykes Kenworthy. He has time to take one touch to control and then just lays it off just outside his box to Batty. Gives it back to Sykes Kenworthy. This is dangerous, almost closed down, but he does manage to clear his lines. Gets it forward towards Akinyemi. Akinyemi's held off it, and again it's played back to Harrison Mail. Neil Ardley says, now it's time for me to go and have a drink of my water. The bottle's been knocked over by someone on the edge of that technical area. Back in his blue navy coat that he was wearing down at Southend tonight. Good interception there from Ryan Fallowfield. Finds Akinyemi with some space. He can lay it through to Chadwick, through on goal. Didn't have a good first touch. Gets a shot in. Mail saves. Nearly.
Very nearly, close. It always looks scrappy though, didn't it? The ball always seemed to be behind our attacking player, into Dippo, just behind him. Dippo's pass to Chadwick, just behind him. If it's just ahead of them, the first touch, get out of the feet and score. I just think it just, yeah, Chadwick just needed too long on the ball.
Akinyemi's first touch wasn't the greatest,
no.
which slowed it down, and then Chadwick's first touch as well wasn't the greatest, and that allowed the defenders to get back, didn't it? But he still got his shot off and still made Harrison Mail make a save.
Yeah, and it's good football from City. They're trying to do the right things.
But it remains goalless as Dorking win a throw-in directly opposite us on the far side of the ground, in front of some of the new advertising banners that have been put in by the, sold I suppose by the Knights or York Rugby League. Down the far side of the West Stand. And Dorking have it at the back. Square ball across the back to Tony Craig. Craig goes across to Hollis. Hollis now to Frankham down the right. He comes back in field to Dan Pybus again, just a small chorus of boos every time he gets the ball. Frankham looking for one of his strikers, but again has to go back to Pybus, and he goes back to his centre backs. Into the middle of the park it goes. Bobby Joe Taylor. Harrison Mail has the ball at his feet, outside his penalty area, and gives it to Hollis. Ball into midfield, controlled well by Charlie Carter. And now they're going to spread it across this left-hand side of Dorking to Blair. Tom Blair. Back to Bobby Joe Taylor. To Josh Taylor. Pybus. Across to Frankham again. Good play from Dorking. Now they play it down the line. Looking for Niall McManus, who's burst forward. But he's shepherded away from that well by Adam Crooks, and it goes behind for a York City goal kick. Mansfield have got a second against Harrogate Town. Mansfield Town 2, Harrogate Town 0. Most certainly now not the best of starts for Simon Weaver's side that started the evening in the playoff positions in League 2. Sykes Kenworthy again, taking his time to put the ball down. Still just that one goal in the National League so far this evening at FC Halifax Town. Game at Solihull, late postponement. Well, looking at this, and the game at Altrincham again postponed. Altrincham against Wealdstone. Well, I think Altrincham against Wealdstone, that was postponed because Wealdstone is still in FA Trophy action. Their game tonight has been postponed at Wealdstone because of a waterlogged pitch. And Wealdstone now have to play that FA Trophy tie next Tuesday when they were supposed to be entertaining Dorking. So that's another postponement for Mark Whiteside that I'm sure will have gone down very well in that little corner of Surrey.
Sure, have comments on that? Yep.
Throw-in taken by York City by Will Smith, the former Harrogate Town man.
Just the game after those few first sparks flying, David. It's just settled down now. I'd like to see City get on the ball a little bit more, keep it, and try and get Finley Barnes into the game again.
The fourth official wants to get involved, has a quick word with Will Smith, and he throws it down the line. Akinyemi controls it well on his chest, turns away from goal, near the corner flag. Dipo Akinyemi tries to play it infield to Ryan Fallowfield. It's intercepted and cut out. Akinyemi, 11 goals to his name now. Looking for a 12th tonight. Ball bouncing around in that Dorking penalty. They're struggling to deal with it. Finley Barnes gets the shot. Not once. Going to get another shot, is he? No. Crowded out of it, and then he didn't know a Dorking defender was coming in. And he lost possession of the ball. And Dorking clear up to halfway. And again, it's good play from Will Smith, who took that in the face there, I think. Just tells him to calm down. Has a little grab at his chin. Make sure there's no blood, which there isn't. And City are going to come again, this time down the left with Amos. Akinyemi's first touch once more, not the greatest, allows the Dorking defender, to intercept. As Neil Ardley says, now's the time for 3 of my substitutes to go and warm up. Down here on this near side, Paddy McLaughlin, Will Davis and Scott Burgess. That's why the round of applause you can hear in the background. Dorking have it at the back, still 0-0. And you're right, it has settled down, hasn't it?
Yeah, it needs that spark again. It needs a thundering challenge, a goal would be nice. Just to spark a bit of life back into it. It's gone a bit flat for me. Maybe both teams sussing each other out a little bit.
Dorking don't come in the best of form. They've lost 3 of the last 4. That's both home and away overall. They have won 2 of the last 3 away from home. Have generally this season been a little bit better away from home than they have at their own ground, which is slightly unusual since they have the advantage of the artificial surface at home. And that's the long ball downfield, and it goes into touch. And Adam Crooks has to go and fetch it himself. Directly in between the 2 sets of ball girls again, who are motionless. Where are they from tonight? The Brooklyn JFC under 12s, the ball girls.
Up in Malton.
Is it Malton?
Brooklyn, yeah, believe so.
Ball played all the way back.
It'd be a lot warmer down here than up there, wouldn't it?
Needs to do some running and go after the ball when he runs out of play and keep warm. Now across this near side it comes, not kept in play. Official's flag goes up. That'll be a throw into York City, but there's no real atmosphere inside the ground, really.
No, it needs something, doesn't it, this game right now? It needs a spark again.
Yeah, it's a little bit flat all of a sudden. I'll say the rain, it did start raining just as the players came out for 5 or 10 minutes. That has stopped as well now. And Dorking have the ball in the centre of midfield. With Blair, tackle comes under him from Barnes. There's for Dorking, throw in. The 4th official wants to talk to every single player when he gives them the ball back for throwing down here, doesn't he?
Yeah, I wonder what he's saying to him. That's, get on with it, get on with the game.
Well, he took the ball all the way to him and then had a word with him, just as he did to Will Smith a minute ago. Batty gives away possession, won back by York City. Chadwick, referee, gets in the way there. There's something else the referee did down at Maidenhead. He blocked off Will Davis's run to try and stop the shot coming in for the Maidenhead goal. Ball across the far side of the field for Dorking. Cross comes into the York City box. Well dealt with by George Sykes-Kenworthy,
Yep.
who immediately bowls it out to Finlay Barnes. Has a bit of space, but his touch let him down. Dan Pivus got the tackle in on him, and Barnes then controls it and gives it to Batty. Batty forward to Akinyemi. Leaves it for Chadwick. Chadwick turns his man well. Now plays it for Akinyemi down the inside left. Needs some help in the middle. Akinyemi trying to get on his right foot in the penalty area. He gets it on his right foot, and then on the volley, he blasts it over the bar and into the empty stand behind.
He was lucky and got unlucky there. The luck was that it bobbled in front of him. Unlucky, he's just got under the ball and blasted it over the bar. But a little bit better from City. Good move from back to front, really quickly there. Billy Chadwick instrumental in the move.
Dorking once again going to try playing it out from the back. Making sure Harrison Mail has plenty of touches of the ball. 24, coming up to 25 minutes gone, just halfway through this first period. And it's still 0-0 on BBC Radio York. Crooks tries to get in position on the left-hand side. Dorking have it. They're forced back, though, up towards halfway to Pybus. Pybus to Bobby Joe Taylor. Back in field to Pybus. He lays it off to his centre-back, who then just backs into Dan Batty. And now Hollis has it. Former Chesterfield and Notts County man. The crowd do try now and get involved. Pybus this left-hand side. Now to the back. Yeah, it's definitely a 4 at the back, isn't it, when Dorking have the ball. And Bobby Joe Taylor there has bypassed Craig and gone all the way back from inside the York City half to Harrison Mail. Pybus. Craig. Back to Mail, who again just tries to chip it out down this near side. One in the air by the captain Fallowfield. And Craig goes back to his goalkeeper. Barnes tries to close him down as he sends it long down the right hand side. Allowed to bounce by Crooks, who hoped it was going to go into touch and eventually has to hook it clear over his shoulder. Pryor, little flick around the corner, no one there. Sykes-Kenworthy is able to come and gather.
Is it just me, or does the Dorking goalie look small?
He does look small, Harrison Mail, yeah. He's not the biggest.
Looks really small, doesn't he? Yeah. It's, there'll be something. Get some crosses in under him.
Crooks forward to Akinyemi. Akinyemi on his heels, though, didn't even try to go anywhere near that ball. He did apologise immediately. It was interesting that he didn't try and make something of it. Ball forward down this left-hand side, flicks off the head of Blair, and then there's a push in the back of Fallowfield. The referee gives York City the free kick and tells Tom Blair just to calm down.
Always amazes me how the attacking players, I was as well, you touch the defender and they go down. You know, it's wrong, but you know they're going to go down, so just don't touch them. Crazy. No, they're having a giggle about it. Fallowfield saying I had to do it, win the free kick.
And you look at where he's taking the free kick from here, Sykes-Kenworthy.
Yeah.
Good 4 or 5 yards in field. Akinyemi flicks it on. And the referee's seen something that we've not and gives Dorking a free kick at the back. Akinyemi gets up and hobbles away. That left foot, left ankle. It's causing him a bit of grief. I think he's going to be all right. Listening to BBC Radio York on a Tuesday evening. Live football on all our frequencies. York City 0, Dorking 0 on FM and BBC Sounds. And on DAB, Mansfield Town 2, Harrogate Town 0. Mail takes the free kick from near halfway and just belts it straight through to Sykes-Kenworthy, who's encouraged to shoot by the crowd as Mail tries to make his way back into his penalty area. Instead he bowls it out to Amos down the far side. Gets past his man, does Amos. Not one. And he runs into his second man. The referee's not going to buy that. And Dorking have it at the back.
I know he didn't go anywhere there, Danny Amos, but he's certainly a quick lad, isn't he? Covers the ground with the ball.
Dorking have it at the back. Mansfield now 3-0 up on Harrogate Town in League 2. That could be game over for Simon Weaver's side early on there.
I hope it's windy down there.
You hope it's windy?
Usually when there's a big score like that, it means there's a big
right,
wind
okay.
going one way, and then second half it could be.
Half. Oh,
yeah.
they may have done enough.
If it isn't Harrogate in
Windy
trouble.
or not. Dorking, laid off by Pryor, picked up on the far side of the field. He comes forward to Sprankham. Still got it. Across this left-hand side. McManus gets it back again. To Bobby Joe Taylor. Gets past Finley Barnes. He then puts the tackle in. Throw in, level with the edge of that York City penalty area for the away side. Taken quickly. Back to McManus. Pybus. Hollis. Across the right-hand side goes Josh Taylor. Infield to Pybus. Long diagonal ball. I think it would be offside if the ball reached him, but it's a poor pass anyway and goes through to Sykes Kenworthy.
Yeah, Dan Pybus trying to pick out a glory ball. Didn't come off at all for him.
Neil Arnley giving some instructions there to Will Smith. Sykes Kenworthy clears. Looking for Akinyemi. He's beaten to it by Craig. Fallowfield, he too is beaten to it by the Dorking man. Now it's over the top, and Will Smith gives it back to his goalkeeper, who calmly sends it out to Adam Crooks on the left-hand side. Crooks goes long, looking for Akinyemi. A slice clearance by Hollis into the Dorking fans, and York City have a throw-in. Just notice both assistants here are called Matthew. Richard Aspinall's the referee. Matthew Moulton and Matthew Bacon. Moulton, Bacon.
All we need is
York City.
It's their name, factory.
It's gone straight over, hasn't it, Ian?
Moulton
Across to
Bacon.
Will Smith. Malton Bacon Factory.
Yeah.
Oh, do you say factory?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I thought you were looking blank at me then.
Sorry.
Oh, it's your joke I joined in
Oh,
on.
no, sorry. Struggling to hear you. Forward to Akinyemi, edge of the D. Tries to play it through the legs of the defender. Last-ditch tackle comes in at the back. And it's put out for a throw-in by Dorking. That was City's first real incisive move in the last 10 or so minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the game has, again, sporadic sparks, but we need to see a little bit more. But City certainly not being threatened too much by Dorking, but are we threatening them enough? The answer is probably no at the moment.
To Barnes. Barnes tries to beat his man, ran down a blind alley there, and Dorking clear. Into the centre of the field to Pryor. Pryor's got a willing runner alongside him, and he sends it out that far side to number 17, Josh Taylor. He comes back in field to Pybus. To Taylor. Taylor up towards the edge of the penalty area, into the centre of the field, not being closed down. Pryor goes for the 1-2, well read by Callum Howe, and City will clear their lines now. Chance for them to come forward. Barnes gets past Pybus, who tried to take him out, should be booked. Referee allows play to go on. Poor pass then from...
He just tried to force it, Finley Barnes. He didn't need to try and find that pass there. Good play as well.
If he'd gone down, it'd been a booking as well for Dan Pybus, wouldn't it, in the centre of the park?
Yeah. Yes. Oh.
Mansfield have got a 4th against Harrogate Town. Mansfield Town 4, Harrogate Town 0 on DAB if you want to listen to commentary of that. Dorking have it at the back, still 0-0 here. As Dorking come forward down the right. Bobby Joe Taylor. To Blair. Joe Taylor gets it back over the top. Callum Howe nods clear. Not once but twice, and he's found Akinyemi with the second one. Tried a little flick around the corner, didn't get it right. Hardly not happy with Akinyemi.
No, you spot that as well.
Not the first time.
No,
we've seen it in the last few weeks.
I'm not sure what else Akinyemi could have actually done on that occasion, because the ball was at his head, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it just feels like, yeah.
But to be fair to Akinyemi, Chadwick was a distance away from him.
He's never going to flick it around, does it? Yeah, Chadwick needs to be a bit nearer, maybe, yeah.
They have it at the back to Dorking. It's almost like a 5-4-1 now for York City. When Dorking have the ball, isn't it? With Akinyemi up front by himself. Everyone else in two banks. A bank of 5 and a bank of 4. And now referee gives a free kick against Will Smith for the foul on Charlie Carter.
Yeah, what City mustn't do, well, obviously, is go to sleep, because although Dorking haven't shown much, it just takes one lapse of concentration. And they've defended so well, certainly on Saturday, again this evening so far, with what they've had to defend against. Just very switched on at all times.
George Frankham's come across. He ended up leaving it for Bobby Joe Taylor into the penalty area. Sykes Kenworthy started to come, then went back. Referee saw the foul in there and gave York City the free kick. Yeah, George Frankham actually signed by Neil Ardley when he was at Wimbledon back in 2013.
It's a long time ago, isn't it? Yeah, George Frankham.
It is, yeah. He was there for a number of years with Neil Ardley. 6 years he had those two together. Sykes Kenworthy again has to go and get the ball from the perimeter of the pitch at the far side with all the ball girls having a nice night out. Would have got away with it in our day, Ian.
Not a chance.
He'd have been onto you with Colin at half time. Headed away by Howe. Ball's fed forward by Fallowfield. Easy though for Dorking to deal with. On this left-hand side. Into the middle for Smith. Barnes gives away possession. Now they come forward with Blair. Good tackle though comes in from Batty. Finley Barnes to Smith. Put into touch. York City throwing on halfway. Fallowfield gets the ball again, the fourth official involved. Smith gets ready to send it down the line. She does now. Akinyemi drops off his man, turns. Edge to the penalty. Akinyemi's got some space. Akinyemi, his left foot, takes on the shot. Mail just has to drop to his left-hand side to save. Should have done better there, Dipo Akinyemi.
Well, he put himself in a really good position just by sheer virtue of his brute force and pace. But yeah, his left foot sort of swung at it a little bit, scuffed it. Keeper made it down to his left fairly easily. But better from Akinyemi.
Again, Neil Ardley not happy with something there.
No.
As they play out from the back. Was it Dipo again? Because he's not closing down quickly enough. Or he wasn't aware of what was going on around him.
Possibly, yeah. He's wanting more. He's demanding more of his players. Win that ball back.
Into midfield it goes. Josh Taylor turns away from Dan Batty. Still got it, it's Taylor down the right-hand side. Gives it to Frankham. Infield to Hollis. Now to Craig. Gets past Barnes. Tackle comes in on Finley Barnes. He manages to pick out Bobby Joe Taylor. Referee's going to give City the free kick here. It's a little bit unlucky. The yellow card's out here as well for Bobby Joe Taylor. He seemed to follow through as he played the ball forward. He did catch Finley Barnes and he gets a yellow card from Richard Aspinall. Slightly unfortunate, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was a yellow card, to be honest, but and Finley Barnes has popped up. He hasn't stayed down, injured or anything. Referee's just seen it. Maybe he was a little bit late.
He makes sure he's all right, Barnes. But he's the man who's been asked to mark.
Well, he's on a yellow now, isn't he?
Exactly.
So he's going to have to be careful. Bobby Joe Taylor.
5-0 to Mansfield against Harrogate Town. Wow. It's a
that one coming.
Nightmare for Simon Weaver's side. The referee, the linesman's completely out of position here, 30 yards down the field, and he's having to be told by the referee you need to come upfield for the free kick to be taken.
He'd given the offside down here, and the referee had given the free kick here. Yeah.
Completely asleep for the last 60 seconds, the linesman. Ball forward, Akinyemi. Yeah. Flipping heck, I think some of the Harrogate Town fans will be saying tonight. That's the best I could come up with.
Well, it'll certainly sound similar.
Ball over the top for Dorking, down the right-hand side. Did you enjoy your pancakes earlier on, Ian?
I didn't toss any pancakes.
You've not had any pancakes?
No. I'm sure there's a few out there that have.
Well, there's a few words to describe you, yeah. Sykes Kenworthy has it at the back. Long ball downfield. To the middle. Barnes goes down again under Bobby Joe Taylor. Again, the referee gives the free kick. So yes, if you miss that, Harrogate Town 5 down at Mansfield Town, not even half time. Be interesting to listen, I think, at post-match to get Simon Weaver's thoughts of what's gone catastrophically wrong for his team in the opening 45 there on such a good run.
Nah, it's one of those games you send your coach up for the interview, isn't it, surely?
Well, he might want to, but I don't think he will.
No.
I don't think that'd go down very well with the supporters after a defeat if suddenly the manager goes into hiding. Ball into the centre of the field for Woodyard. I've not mentioned him too much actually tonight, Alex Woodyard. Batty gives away possession, isn't happy with himself. Now City are out of position in the middle. Dorking come forward for Blair. He can run at Smith on this left-hand side. First chance I've had to cut in field into the penalty area. Blair down this left-hand side. Gets the cross into the box. No one there at the far stick. There'd have been a tap-in if there was someone in the middle.
That's somehow
City are able to clear their lines.
Evaded all the City defenders there. That was really good football from Dorking. And City's fans, they're getting frustrated, and I can see why.
Josh Taylor to Bobby Joe Taylor to Pybus. Josh Taylor. Charlie Carter. Nice little intricate play, and Bobby Joe Taylor's got in around the back here. Left-hand side appeals to a handball, and he's drilled that across goal. That's a terrible cross from Bobby Joe Taylor. What were they supposed to do with that? The one man in the box. And absolutely no chance, goes out for a throw in far side. Yeah, he's whipped in with venom, really, but there's no chance of anyone getting on the end of it. But City just cut open a little bit there. The only thing you could possibly say that he had a small chance there is that because it was hitting with such venom, it slips off nicks off a York City defender, and it's an own goal.
Yeah.
But there was no Dorking man had any chance whatsoever to get on the end of that. And that was a really good opportunity. It's two York City players go for the same ball. Howe and Batty. Batty eventually clears. Then Akinyemi's clattered into. He goes to ground. Referee doesn't give anything. Akinyemi's going to get back to his feet. Fallowfield could be penalised for a foul. Referee doesn't give it. There's a block tackle there between Smith and Blair, bouncing around the edge of the York City penalty. It suddenly got really scrappy as Charlie Carter can't get there. Cleared by Adam Crooks. And you have to say now, after that early first 5 or so minutes, it's been pretty disappointing from York City.
Yeah, it went through a lull and it hasn't really managed to get out of it, has it? I include Dorking in that. I think both teams looking scrappy, really.
Ball goes into touch far side of the field for a Dorking throw. They're very goalless at the minute. But City, they need to do better, and Neil Ardley will be wanting them to do better.
Yeah, he'll be demanding more, I think, when half-time team talk comes around. He'll want more from his players, more as an attacking threat.
Akinyemi lets the ball go and then does really well. But then that's a poor pass ball from Akinyemi as he tries to feed Barnes through. And again, Neil Ardley turns, puts his hands over his eyes.
It's the quality aspect of it, you know, getting into some good places, good opportunities to create chances, and yeah, just that final ball, it's just wrong. It's not, yeah, it's snatched at it. I don't know, Dippo there. It's not just him. It's that final ball that's going to seal the deal and give someone a chance.
How back to Sykes Kenworthy, lets the ball run into his penalty area and then clears. Over the head of Barnes, nodded clear by Dorking. Woodyard gives away possession to Blair. Blair tries to turn Fallowfield. Good tackle from the former Harrogate Town man, then dinks it over the top. That's going to be too far in front of Akinyemi, who's flagged offside anyway. He remains goalless with 2.5 minutes to go to the break. You have to think with neither trainer having been on in this first period, there isn't going to be much injury time put up on the board here, if anything. As that's nodded into touch the far side of the field from Adam Crooks. Throw into Dorking. You can hear their fans maybe in the background. They've got a drum over there. They're just going to take a few seconds to take this throw in as well. Goals in the National League. Filed a 3 up at Aldershot. Halifax still lead Maidenhead by a goal to nil. Bournemouth 1 up at Oldham now. Filed out of nowhere, flying, and Aldershot down to 10 men. They were down to 10 when it was 2-0. They've scored one more against the 10 men of Filed. 2 long journeys for them this week to Eastleigh and Aldershot. Dorking have it at the back. Pybus to Hollis. Allowed to run into the centre circle, and then he gives away possession to Finley Barnes.
Oh.
Barnes tries to feed it through to Akinyemi. This time it's Finley Barnes that gets the Neil treatment as he throws himself around and looks to the heavens.
It's Ivan Needle ball, wasn't it? I don't think it was actually on. It looked like it was on, but it was, didn't get cut out.
Crooks. Woodyard. Back to Sykes Kenworthy. Down that left-hand side. Headed away by Dorking. Allowed to bounce by Batty. Picked up by Will Smith. Gives it to his fellow centre-back, Howe. Now long ball, diagonal ball down this right. Fallowfield does amazingly well to keep it in play and keep hold of possession. Gives it to Smith. City now getting men forward. Will Smith on the inside right. Goes back out to Fallowfield. Needs to try and get a ball into the box. He gives it to Billy Chadwick, who's not been involved. Will Smith, little ball around the corner. How do you get Billy Chadwick more involved, Ian? As City give away possession.
Put him in behind the front two, for me. And get him on the ball. Trust him on the ball. He's just not involved, is he? Unfortunately.
No.
I think his best position is just in behind or just off a striker.
Here comes the ball. There's going to be 1 minute shown. We're into that 1 minute now, as people start to head for the kiosks underneath the stand. Headed away by Dorking. Pryor wins that header. That's a good interception from Amos. And he gives it back to his goalkeeper, who bowls it out to Smith on this right-hand side. Controls it on his chest. Smith needs someone to pass it to in the middle of the park. Gives it to Batty. Batty told to get it forward, so he does, to Ryan Fallowfield down this right-hand side. His touch lets him down on this occasion. Dorking are able to clear as far as Howe, who bursts forward over halfway. Callum Howe up towards the edge of the box. Callum Howe encouraged to shoot, gives it to Fallowfield instead. The right decision, I think. Fallowfield poor cross in though, and Dorking are able to clear. Woodyard gets his head to it. Wonder what the conversation was like between Alex Woodyard and the referee when they first eyes set upon each other tonight.
Maybe just a little reminder from Alex Woodyard that the referee got that one, I think we're universally agreed, was wrong.
And there goes the half-time whistle. It's York City 0, Dorking Wanderers 0. City started off like a house on fire. 3 corners within the first 2 minutes. But ever since then, Ian, it's fallen flat, and I think Dorking have probably had the majority of the possession.
Yeah, not great possession either. I don't think Dorking have been particularly great. They've had a couple of openings. Other than that, a very scrappy game. It started off really positive for York City, and it unfortunately just tailed off a little bit quite early, to be honest, in that second half. They need to start off like they did in the first half, in the second half, but continue it and keep having a go at the opposition.
It's goalless, Sharon, here at the LNE Alps. At least York City are still in this game, because I don't think the same can be said for Harrogate Town tonight.
Absolutely not. Thanks, David. Thanks, Ian. More, of course, in the second half commentary of that game here on FM and also online. As David referred to, and you'll have heard him mention in commentary, it's 5-0 to Mansfield in the game on DAB. Still waiting for the half-time whistle to go in that one. As soon as it does, we'll get the story of the first half from Tim Steer, who's bringing you commentary of that match on DAB alongside Paul Bolland. So after that first 45 for York City, what did you make of things that you heard? Get in touch with us. You can text us on 81333. Please start your message with the word York if you want to do it that way. If you want to WhatsApp us, it's 08000 321 333. Again, please start your message with the word York and put your name on the messages as well. Or you can get in touch on Twitter at BBC York Sport. Half-time scores are coming in across the country, and in the National League I can tell you that it's Aldershot 0, Fylde 3 as the latest. Half-times Halifax 1, Maidenhead 0, Oldham 0, Borehamwood 1, and as we heard, York City 0, Dorking 0. Solihull Moors against Kidderminster is off, so is Altrincham against Wealdstone. The half-time whistle has gone in the game at Mansfield. We will catch up with Tim Steer very shortly indeed. It is 25-9. You're listening to BBC Radio York on this Tuesday evening. So it's goalless at the LNER Community Stadium in the National League. York City against Dorking. But as we've been hearing, Harrogate Town not going well, I'm afraid, in that first half against Mansfield. Let's get the story of the first half with Tim Steer.
Yes, not going well is a bit of an understatement really for Harrogate Town. They trail at second place Mansfield by 5-0 at half-time. The goal spree started on 13 minutes after Derek Abu was adjudged to a foul. Lucas Akins in the area, a soft one you may say, but definitely a penalty at the same time, and Lucas Akins sending Belshaw the wrong way, sending it into the bottom right hand corner on 13 minutes. But Harrogate Town in lots of ways were the makers of their own downfall, giving the ball away on a couple of occasions, leading to goals, with Hiram Boateng on 20 minutes and the half-hour mark, and then Nichols joined the party on 34 minutes to make it 4-0, and Davis Keylor done after Dooley was dispossessed, and again Abu giving the ball away, leading to an opportunity, and Keylor Dunn, the top scorer for Mansfield, made no mistake from 8 yards out, slotting it home for 5-0. 15 shots on goal for Mansfield in that first half, just the one for Harrogate Town. And after going behind from that penalty on 13 minutes, the Harrogate Town players never really recovered. They tried to play out from the back, as we've seen them doing in recent weeks, but Mansfield have been quick to press any mistake that Harrogate Town have made, and Mansfield have made them pay for it and have really punished them harshly. And for the manager Simon Weaver at half-time, you imagine there'll be changes made. There'll be some substitutes coming on for the second half, but more than anything to try and restore some pride, because this game is gone. What can they do in the second half, Harrogate Town? The half-time score here at Field Mill: Mansfield Town 5, Harrogate Town 0.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Paul Bolland, as well, alongside him in that game on DAB. Second half commentary if you're a Harrogate Town fan and you can bear it to come. 23 minutes to 9. Let's go through the half-time scores then from across the country. And it's the Champions League round of 16. It's FC Copenhagen 1, Manchester City 1, and goalless in the other game that also kicked off at 8 o'clock between RB Leipzig and Real Madrid. In the Championship, coming up to half-time, Birmingham City 0, Blackburn 0. Half-times, Leicester City 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Norwich City 2, Watford 1, Rotherham United 1, Hull City 0, Swansea City 0, Leeds United 3, and latest scores from games that kicked off a little later: Bristol City 0, Southampton 0, West Brom 1, Cardiff 0. In League 1, Bolton 1, Wickham 0, Charlton 0, Lincoln City 1, Cheltenham 1, Blackpool 0, Exeter 0, Derby 1, Fleetwood 0, Reading 0, Leyton Orient 1, Northampton Town 1, Oxford United 1, Wigan 1, Portsmouth 1, Cambridge 1, Shrewsbury 1, Barnsley 0, Stevenage 2, Bristol Rovers 1. Peterborough against Port Vale postponed because of a waterlogged pitch, and likewise Burton Albion against Carlisle. In League 2, Accrington Stanley 0, Wimbledon 0. Barrow 1, Forest Green 1, Bradford City 2, MK Dons 0, Crawley 0, Walsall 1, Gillingham 0, Swindon 1, Mansfield 5, Harrogate Town 0, as we've heard from Tim, Newport 0, Notts County 2, Salford 1, Doncaster Rovers 1, Stockport 1, Crewe 2, Sutton United 0, Wrexham 1, Tranmere 2, Morecambe 1. Colchester against Grimsby, as Tim has mentioned, was postponed a little earlier because of a waterlogged pitch. In the National League, Aldershot 0, Fylde 3, Halifax 1, Maidenhead United 0, Oldham Athletic 0, Borehamwood 1, and of course York City 0, Dorking Wanderers 0. Solihull Moors against Kidderminster is off because of a waterlogged pitch. 2 games tonight as well in National League North: Alfreton 1, South Shields 0, Chorley 0, Spennymoor 1. And now I've said those out loud, let me just check they are the most up-to-date scores. They are confirmed as half-times. No league game tonight for Scarborough Athletic, but they are in action in the North Riding Senior Cup. They're at Gisborough Town tonight. It's 1-1 at the moment in that game. And elsewhere in the Northern Counties East League Premier Division, Pickering Town 2, Barton Town 1, and Silsden 0, Tadcaster Albion 0 were the latest scores I saw from both of those games. In fact, I can update it now. Pickering Town are 3-1 up in their game at home to Barton Town in the Northern Counties East League. And Silsden are 1-0 up against Tadcaster Albion. So not exactly going everyone's way tonight across North Yorkshire. Let's hope for better come the final whistles. It's BBC Radio York Sport. It's 20 to 9.
Daytimes on BBC Radio York.
Do you like to get dressed up for a big occasion? How long does it take you to get ready? I'm very much a fleece and joggers kind of gal now, especially the older I get, the less I care about how I look.
Beck Homer.
But if there's an occasion, if there's any reason to get glammed up, I love it.
Joanita Musisi.
I used to plan what I was going to wear on a Saturday night, on Monday. These days, though, if I know I'm going out at 8 o'clock, I start getting ready at 7 o'clock, and by 7:50, I'm pulling my hair out. I'm screaming, why don't I have anything to wear? What's happened to my body?
Weekdays from 10.
BBC Radio York.
19 minutes to 9. Not great news if you're a Harrogate Town fan tonight. They trail 5-0 at Mansfield in League 2. York City still in things, though, at the LNER Community Stadium in the National League. Goalless at half-time in their game against Dorking. Let's turn to cricket for a few minutes now, and England are preparing for the third test against India, which begins on Thursday. The 5-test series is level at 1-1, followed by a break. Well, batsman Ollie Pope has been speaking to the BBC sports journalist Stephen Shemlett.
Yeah, feeling good. Week's been good, refreshed. Obviously had 2 very good test matches, very competitive test matches, so it was a nice timely break where we could sort of go back, see family and friends in Abu Dhabi, and just chill out for a few days before coming back here fully energised and excited for the next 3 games.
In the time you've been away, Jack Leach has gone home. It must be incredibly frustrating for him to pick up another injury so soon after coming back.
Yeah, I mean, he's not had much luck recently, the nut, but we're all sending him our best. He stayed in really good spirits throughout his time here, even though he was struggling. But yeah, he's sending him all the best. He's such a great character in our changing room, and he's got so many good skills with the ball as well. So we're all sending him our best, and hopefully he's fit, ready to go for the summer ahead.
You had to cope without him in the second test. There's a lot on those 3 young spinners for these last 3 tests.
Yeah, absolutely. There is, but I think they've done a really good job in that last test. I think they kept a very highly skilled Indian batting lineup, batting first and a pretty good pitch to very reasonable scores. And credit to them, they've really stepped up to the plate and look like they've loved every bit of it as well. So obviously Leachy's a big loss for us, but we've got absolutely every skill set that we need to beat this Indian team as well.
Now, you guys have only played 1 specialist seamer in the first 2 tests. Is this the time to play 2?
I don't want to give away too many secrets, but yeah, there's definitely at the minute there's a little bit more grass on. Like I said, it looks a pretty good pitch, and if it stays like that, every chance that 2 will be played. But I think we always like to make a decision here the day before, just in case conditions can change, especially with the heat on it all day.
On the subject of seamers, Jasprit Bumrah is the leading wicket taker in the series. You felt the full force of him in Visakhapatnam. After that test match, Brendan McCullum said, look, we're not going to have a group discussion on how to play him. Everyone's going to be just given the confidence to work it out for themselves. So what has the thinking been around counteracting Jasprit Bumrah over these last 3 tests? Yeah,
look, he's one of the best bowlers in the world, especially out here. Potentially, well, after our boys, the best bowler in the world. It's not easy. He provides great skills. He's got good pace, reverse swing. So there's no easy way just to click your fingers and solve that problem. It's just about finding the alignment and being aware that he's got a very good slower ball and a good Yorker as well. So I think every batter goes about it in their own ways. It doesn't need a group discussion like Baz said. So I think everyone, without giving away too many secrets, it's everyone can just make if they need to make slight adjustments, but it's also about trying to put pressure back on guys like him as well. If we can take him for slightly more runs than over, that's going to the rest of their team will feel that pressure as well.
Talk to me about your captain. He's going to play his 100th test.
Yeah, I mean, what a legend of the game. So many great memories from his career. Excited to see him get that 100th cap. It's always great. I think Ruti was the last man, I think, to receive his 100. It's credit to him. I mean, what he's put his body through over the years. He gives 110% in every single test he plays it like it's his last, and you never know what you're going to get with him. He could do some of the most ridiculous things in the field with the bat, with the ball. So hopefully, long may that continue over the next few years.
Ollie Pope ahead of England's next test in India. It's 8:45 on this Tuesday evening. Tuesday Night Sport with you until 10 o'clock. Harrogate Town at Mansfield this evening in League 2, trailing 5-0 at half-time. York City at home to Dorking in the National League. It's goalless in that one. Thank you for your comments. On the text, Ian, the bus driver, says, sounds like York need a captain in midfield to command and dictate the game. He says there's no leaders. And Graham in Cyprus says, well, so far Batty has made no difference whatsoever. Hope Mr Ardley will wave his magic wand and get this team reorganised. Dorking don't look like scoring, so City need to go for it like they did in the first few minutes. Come on, City. Please, says Graham. Thank you. Text us 81333. Start your message, please, with the word York. On WhatsApp, 08000 321 333. Again, please start your message with the word York. If you're contacting us on text or WhatsApp, please put your name on as well. Or you can tweet us at BBC York Sport. Tell us what you think of your team's performance this evening, or even the lineup, or even some of the players. Certainly, as far as York City's concerned, a couple of changes with Finlay Barnes and Dan Batty coming into the starting lineup. Tell us what you think. We'll love to hear from you as ever, and we'll have a look at what you've been saying throughout the rest of the evening.
Hi, I'm Kylie Minogue.
I'm Rick Astley.
And I'm James Blunt.
It's time to say thank you to the brave, the courageous, the unsung heroes.
The BBC Make a Difference Awards recognise and appreciate those who love to make life better for others.
I think there's a real magic to what you guys do.
The BBC Make a Difference Awards.
You can find the terms and conditions at bbc.co.uk/make a difference. Nominations are open now and close Sunday the 10th of March at 11 p.m.
It's time to say thank you to the unsung heroes. You're beautiful.
The BBC Make a Difference Awards.
BBC Radio York.
Thank you all for making a difference.
14 minutes to 9, some of the day's other headlines, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos have been given the green light by the Premier League to buy a 25% stake in Manchester United. It follows the completion of the owners and directors test. The deal is still subject to FA approval. In the Champions League this evening, Manchester City are taking on FC Copenhagen. Just to bring you up to date with that one, it was an 8 o'clock kickoff. It's still 1-1 in that game. Staying with football, England's women have welcomed back the Euros winning captain Leah Williamson to their squad. She's been missing for 9 months with a serious knee injury. Also in the squad are Rachel Daly and Beth Mead of North Yorkshire. In cricket, as we've just been hearing, where England's men are deciding whether to play an extra seamer against India, with the series level at 1-1 going into the third test match, the vice-captain Ollie Pope has hinted they may revise their strategy of only selecting one fast bowler. And Saudi Arabia will stage its first ranking snooker event later this year with a prize fund of more than £2 million. The World Snooker Tour is branding it as the fourth major alongside the traditional Triple Crown events. It's BBC Radio York Sport. It is 12 minutes to 9. Mansfield 5, Harrogate Town 0 at half-time. York City 0, Dorking Wanderers 0 at half-time in that one in the National League. Second half commentary of both those games to come shortly here on BBC Radio York. York City are coming back out at the LNER Community Stadium. We are thinking that they're still not quite out yet in the game involving Harrogate Town. So let's all go across to the LNER for the time being. We'll pick up commentary on DAB of Harrogate Town once they're ready to get going there. But in the meantime, it's goalless between York City and Dorking. Let's go across and join David Ward.
Thanks, Sharon. I have to say the half-time music at the LNER has been so much better than anything we've seen on the pitch in that opening 45. I was hoping they were going to stay inside the dressing rooms for a couple of more minutes so we could enjoy the music. But there you are. The players have decided it is time to come back out for the start of the second half. York City haven't made a change, but thankfully the guy on the tanno wants to continue with his music. I'll run through the two sides. George Sykes-Kenworthy in goal for York. Crooks, Howe and Smith are the centre-backs. Amos and Fallowfield the wing-backs. Woodyard and Batty the centre of the park. Chadwick on the left, Barnes on the right, Akinyemi through the centre. Through the away side, Harrison Mail is the goalkeeper. They lined up with a 4 at the back for the majority of the game. Bobby Joe Taylor, Hayden Hollis, Tony Craig and George Frankham. In midfield, Niall McManus, Dan Pybus, Josh Taylor and Tom Blair. Jason Pryor and Charlie Carter up front. On the bench for both sides, Duckworth, McLaughlin, Davis, John Lewis and Burgess for York City. Kennedy Cook, Moore Gallagher and Ottaway for the visitors. Now ready on DAB as well. Simon Weaver, I imagine maybe keeping his players in the dressing room for an extra couple of seconds to try and find out what went wrong in the first half. They're trailing by 5-0. That game is now for you on DAB. Here on FM, we're just waiting for the referee to continue counting the players of both sides to make sure that it is still 11 versus 11. Neil Ardley sitting down on his bench beneath us. Mark White with his hands in his pocket, just patrolling his technical area. Dorking are going to get the game underway. They're going to be kicking from left to right, which means York City will be kicking towards their own fans in the south stand at the start of this second half. And I imagine Neil Ardley, although pleased with parts of his side's play, especially the start as Dorking put that ball straight into touch from the kick-off, will have become more frustrated as that first half went on, Ian.
Absolutely, yeah. He's the first 5, 6, 7 minutes half decent. Unfortunately, it tailed off towards the end of that first half. Need more of that first 10 minutes in this second half.
And now City have a free kick far side of the field. On halfway as Dorking gave away the ball from the throw-in. The referee just making sure no one needs no one needs any treatment. Big thank you to Wendy Smith, who brought me a nice warm cup of coffee down at half-time.
I wondered who brought you that nice little
in a little china mug.
Yeah, we'll have to remind Wendy that I do like hot chocolate now and again.
She even called me as well to tell me she'd brought it down. That was an unexpected treat on a cold February night. Ball played forward by York City. Crooks is going to claim it on this near side. Now it can be put back in by Alex Woodyard. It's a deep one over the head of Callum Howe. And Dorking are going to be able to clear their lines, which they do up to halfway. Will Smith gets hold of the ball for York City. 90 seconds gone in this second half. Still goalless on BBC Radio York. Back to Alex Woodyard. What do you think Sam Weaver said to his side at half-time? What do you do when it's 5-0? Well, that'll do, guys. Let's shut up shop here now. Do you keep going for it?
You try and win the second half. That's literally what the manager has said.
Were you ever 5 down at half-time?
Oh, yeah.
That's a silly push by Akinyemi on the back of the defender who was going to go down, but it was a clear push. He goes to ground, and that just relieves any sort of pressure that York City could have tried to build.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been in a team that, at half-time in 5 down. I think sometimes you've been 2 or 3 down, and it's, you know the game's over. And when the manager says them words to you, right, guys, let's not lose the second half. He's give up on you, basically. And
I'm trying to think the greatest comebacks I can remember. I can remember a couple of 4-0s. There was the Newcastle coming back from 4 down at home to Arsenal a few years ago in the Premier League. And I can remember QPR, I think it was, coming back from 4-0 down in the final 20-odd minutes at Port Vale, probably 15 years ago, something like that. But I can never remember anyone coming back from 5.
No, I remember one team coming back from 3-0 in a Champions League final. That was amazing.
At least said about that, the better. Chadwick for York City, up towards the edge of the penalty area. Needs to be more involved as Billy Chadwick in his second period. Gives it to Finlay Barnes, who's out on the left at the start of this second half. Chadwick to Akinyemi, edge of the D. His first touch not great, but he keeps hold of possession, then tries to feed it through to Fallowfield. He can't find him, and it falls back kindly at Dipo Akinyemi's feet. But he's running to traffic again, just about keeps hold of the ball once more. Finlay Barnes, left-footed. Shot comes in, and it's high and over the bar. In fact, it was Amos who'd come in field. They look remarkably similar. And they get away from you, those two.
It's a real easy mistake to make, isn't it? They do look. Physique, looks, hair, the lot. Very similar. Doppelgangers.
Especially when he moves forward into a midfield position there, Danny Amos. We found him in the centre of the park. Dorking clear their lines. Coming to 4 minutes gone now in this second half. And Sykes Kenworthy comes out of his penalty area right-hand side and clears on the volley. Headed clear by Dorking into the middle. Batty, Woodyard, Crooks. Back to Batty on this near side. Back to Crooks. Be interesting to see how long Neil Ardley leaves this as well before he decides to make a change and bring John Lewis and Will Davis on. Intercepted the ball forward from Smith. Now Dorking come forward, centre of the field. Charlie Carter up towards the edge of the box. Carter lays off to Pryor. Shot. Easy for Sykes Kenworthy. Was never going to be trouble from that distance on the angle. That's the first save I think he's had to make all evening.
Yeah, and literally the ball was struggling to get to him. It was a real scuffer. But again, Dorking just showing City that they can attack themselves. But if you ever felt there was a game that could be won, it feels like this. And York haven't really started too well again. But
out forward for Barnes, and there's a foul there. The referee sees it. The linesman saw it right in front of him. Finlay Barnes doesn't like the decision, but I think it's right.
We must have more in our locker, David, for these kind of games. Dorking are hard working, they're battling away. But I just feel like City have got more.
Next season we will.
100%.
But I don't know if we're going to have this season, because this is a repeating pattern.
Yeah, and that's where we are. It's about not getting beat, trying to maybe, battle our way to victories.
And we may still win this game, but it'll be hard. It'll be a hard-working victory, won't it?
Yeah, it will. And that is again where we are, isn't it? We're a hard-working team who hopefully pick up some points.
Harrison Mayles trying to take the free kick from the wrong position. The referee's making him go back, but he's not doing anything about it, the referee. Now one of the Dorking defenders having a word with the referee. This isn't the sort of referee to be messing around with, boys. I'll give you a little bit of advice.
Yeah, give you a hint, give you a tip there.
He's not shy of a red. And Mail clears. Flicked forward by Carter. All the way through to Sykes Kenworthy. Oh dear. They're not long into the second half at Field Mill, but it's long enough for Mansfield to get a sixth.
Oh.
They lead Harrogate Town by 6-0.
I guess it's not windy then.
Down this right-hand side for Pryor. Good luck, Tim. Trying to get hold of Simon Weaver at the end of that one. He might be in for a late evening.
He might have gone home already.
Mail to the left-hand side of the field it goes. Bobby Joe Taylor gets round the back of Ryan Fallowfield. Cross into the York City box, intercepted by Smith. Saves it from going out for a corner kick. Takes it all the way to the corner. Flag, and then plays it off down the line. Picked up by the white shirts again. And he goes down to Carter. No free kick given. Now to the right-hand side to Frankham. Shot comes in, it's blocked. And City are able to clear. That was McManus who had the shot in the end there. Chadwick told to get stuck in by the gentleman behind us. Oh, Finley Barnes, that's a high foot. That's going to be a free kick to Dorking. Nervy times, I would suggest, here for York City. And Finley Barnes is going into the referee's notebook.
It does feel a bit nervy, David, because Dorking haven't offered much in the first half, but...
Apologies, I've done it again. It's Amos again.
It's Amos again, yeah.
Who's gone into the notebook there. Doesn't help that Finley Barnes, now they've just gone and swapped positions, Finley Barnes and Amos, for the defensive
just playing with
set piece.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those when you're at a game, you feel something's coming, and there's nothing to suggest that it should, because both teams have been pretty poor, but it just feels that Dorking are knocking on our door a little bit here.
Yeah, it does.
Dare I say it, very similar performance from Dorking tonight as York's on Saturday at Southend.
Ball into the York City penalty. It's
Oh,
allowed to bounce here. Great save, Sykes Kenworthy.
Wow.
Oh, what was the defending there? York City allowed that ball to bounce in their penalty box, virtually on the penalty spot. Cut out the whole of the defence. The striker got his head to it, tried to loop it over Sykes Kenworthy, who was almost caught in no man's land, and he did so well to arch his back and get fingertips and push it over.
It's a brilliant save. I mean, that was just literally minutes ago. We're saying he feels something could happen. That should have been a goal, really. It's a heck of a save from George Sykes Kenworthy. He's kept his team in it.
Corner kick, far side of the field, high, loopy, free header, back post. Good block in the end from Crooks. It's going to be a second corner for Dorking.
We're under the cosh here, City. We need to do better.
The Dorking fans in the background. Neil Ardley not happy again with his players.
No, because he expects more. We all expect that a little bit more, but you can't forget Dorking have come with a game plan themselves. And, they'll be happy right now, Dorking.
They've gone short from this one. And we put in by Bobby Joe Taylor. To the line he goes, gets past Chadwick, managed to get a cross in, flicks off a York City foot, City clear their lines. Good defending, I think it was Alex Woodyard who was back there helping out again. What about the celebration for the little nick header onto the post?
Brilliant, love to see that.
Time.
It shows you what it means, doesn't it? It's... he's saved his team there with that header. Fantastic reaction.
It was. The best bits, though, Sykes Kenworthy had to stop celebrating to get forward and start defending again.
It's like, I bet it felt like scoring a goal for Alex Woodyard.
Just as good as, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It does mean a lot. It shows it means a lot to the lads. We can sit here and want more from them, but it does mean a lot to them. And you just want more for them, don't you? Well, you want more for us, but you also want more for them.
He's not used to playing at this level. He's dropped down.
Yeah.
He's still relatively young.
Yeah.
Still got 3 or 4 good years in him, if he can stay injury-free. And he'll want the majority of those to be in the Football League.
Yeah.
Or at least towards the top end.
Yeah, and he'll believe this club can get there. That's why he's come here. He'll believe that we can get there. And I firmly believe we've got the right bits in charge now, from top to bottom, that push City on.
City are really struggling to get hold of the ball here, and you can hear the crowd getting really anxious. Get the party poppers out, everybody. Harrogate Town have got a goal back at Field Mill. George Thompson Mansfield Town 6, Harrogate Town 1.
Is that where we say it looks a bit more respectable now?
No, because it's still 35 minutes left there, just as there is here. Dorking down the left. That's good play from them. As Pivus turns away from one York City man. Oh, 6-2, and the comeback is on, Ian.
Maybe it is windy.
6-2, Mansfield lead Harrogate. We'll keep up to date with all the goals. We're at the wrong match again, aren't we?
Well, yeah.
Can you imagine a York City game ever being involved at the minute in a game with its 8 goals?
No.
We're lucky if we scrape one. Crooks. It's another attritional watch. Or listen, possibly, on BBC Radio York. Crooks. Throwing on halfway, down the line. Forward to Akinyemi, controls it well. Gives it to Barnes. His pass is blocked. Throwing again to York City. He's followed everywhere again there by Bobby Joe Taylor with Finley Barnes. Crooks to Barnes. Got the Dorking man right up his backside again. And he manages to shrug Finley Barnes off the ball there. And they're able to clear. Smith beaten to that in the end. It falls to Pivus. Batty. Crooks. City can't bring the ball down here. And eventually they manage to do so. And it goes all the way back to Sykes Kenworthy as Cox comes out to have a chat with Ardley.
Yeah, I'm wondering what minute they think about changing this around, because whatever the plan was, yeah, we are hard to beat, but
it hasn't happened just out of the second half.
As an attacking force, nothing's really changed, and yeah, it feels like a little tinkering needs to be done, unless City can muster an attack here.
Amos to Akinyemi, turns away from his man well. Akinyemi now turns, still got the back four to get through, plays it through to Crooks. Can he keep it in play? He does, pulls it back into the area, put behind for a York City corner kick. Slightly better from City.
Slightly better, yeah. City, they're trying to get into positions, just can they get that quality up to the front men?
Corner kick. Could do with Amos and Chadwick getting a move on here to get across to take this corner. Chadwick's going to take this corner. He bounces the ball a couple of times to give the signal, and it is going to be Billy Chadwick that takes this corner. This is an interesting move in.
Whip it across the front. Oh, there
he
it
feels
is.
it in, doesn't beat the first man. It might be the last corner that Billy Chadwick takes.
Yeah, but the gap was there actually. Did he mean to do that and no one's made the run, or was it a bad corner?
Woodyard to Chadwick, tries to get away from his man, has his heels clipped, does he? No.
Trouble here.
And now Dorking on the
There's
break.
trouble here.
Down this right hand side. McManus over halfway. He's got two at the far side if he can pick one of them out. And he does try and pick him out, but he doesn't get enough distance on the ball, enough loft on it. He's headed away by Ryan Fallowfield.
There was a moment there City were in real bother. If they'd managed to swing it from right to left, the Dorking player would have been in on goal.
McManus to Frankham. And Frankham with his big beard goes all the way back to his goalkeeper.
John Lewis and Will Davis warming up here. I wouldn't be surprised to see the pair of them, you know.
No, I think you'll bring both of them on after an hour.
So, yeah, the pair of them together.
The next 5 minutes they'll be on.
Yeah. It feels like we need a different dimension, something different.
Interesting if you've made a real statement. So we can tell he's not happy with Dippo Akinyemi at times. And he took him off. Frankham down this right-hand side. Looking for Carter in the penalty area. That's good play by Will Smith. City still struggling to clear their lines. Dorking still got hold of it, and they win the throw-in by the corner flag. Now Neil Ardley looking down the touchline here. As Dorking get ready to possibly send a long throw into that York City penalty area. And Dippo been told to just loitering on halfway by his manager to get back in there and mark somebody again.
Almost all the Dorking players have gone forward. Oh, they've just realised now that Finley Barnes had stayed out. Dorking throwing players forward at 0-0 away from home.
It is going to be a long throw. Dan Pivus getting instructions there off his manager as well. In comes the long throw. Wow, that's a mightily long throw. Allowed to bounce again in the 6-yard box by York City, and they've cleared at the far side of the ground. Twice they've allowed the ball to bounce in the penalty area, Ian. Ball forward down this left-hand side. Dorking have got it. Cross comes in, not once. Then it goes behind for a corner kick. Oh, and the referee says that's a foul, and that York City get a free kick. Slightly fortunate, I think.
Yeah, but City will take that, I'm sure. And I think Neil Ardley's going to be making changes imminently.
Who's he called? Len. So John Lewis will be coming on in a second. And so will Will Davis. It is the double change we suggested, and it is after an hour.
Yeah. I personally, David, this 3 up front doesn't really working for me. It's too flat. It's like if you imagine a fork with 3 bits on the end. They're not moving. It's the same. Can you imagine a 3 up front? And it just stays rigid. There's no real movement about it. Go 2 and have one in behind that floats. And
you need to have one of those kids' forks where they're all just a little bit bendy.
Yeah. A bit flexible.
But you're right, I don't particularly like it either.
No,
not unless you've got people with real pace, which York City haven't.
Yeah, it isn't like we're watching, the world-class players that can do those positions. It's not easy. It's a tough gig. And I as a kid, are you brought up with 4-3-3? Probably not. You have a striker and 2
tries to
wingers.
hold the ball up centre of the field. He now is allowed to turn. Cuts back in field. Needs to pick out a pass. Finds Fallowfield, who's pushed forward on the right. Fallowfield has to go back to Batty. Batty.
No.
Oh, to Finley Barnes, who just completely lost control of the balls. He took his eyes off it. He may be one of the 2 to go off. And now it's Dorking that come forward over halfway. Pryor goes back to Frankham. Frankham round the corner to Dan Pybus, who's quietly gone about his work on his return to the LNER. To the left-hand side. To Joe Taylor.
I wonder if it's Chadwick and Barnes come off when they go with the 3 sort of.
We've still not seen anything from Billy Chadwick. This is what?
No, this is worrying.
6th appearance. No. I still don't think he knows really where to play him. Oh, there's a 7th. No. Mansfield Town 7, Harrogate Town 2.
That bastard.
We're sort of talking record defeat categories here, I think.
Dippo is coming off,
14 for number 9. It is Dippo. I thought it would be. You can tell he's frustrated with him virtually every single game. So Akinyemi's coming off for John Lewis.
I'll be happy. Dippo Akinyemi. He's worked his socks off for the team, but just.
But Neil Hadley wants more.
Yeah,
he doesn't think he's working hard enough, I don't think.
I think he works hard, but I just wonder if we're not finding him with the right. We're not supplying him really, are we?
And it's Amos that's come off for Davies.
That's got to be a change of formation then, has it?
Yeah, 4 at the back. Crooks goes to left back.
4-2-4. It's 4-2-4. With Chadwick out here on the left.
It'll be more 4-4-2, won't it, I would have thought.
Yeah, well, yeah. Either or. When they're attacking, it'll certainly. Yeah.
John Lewis is going to be penalised, is he? No, he's not. Referee allows that to go. Dorking have the ball far side of the field. Fallowfield's done well to get it back for York City over that far side. And he gets around the back to the byline. Pulls into the middle. Oh, it's taken off John Lewis's feet by Davis. There's almost an opportunity immediately there for Lionel John Lewis. Cross comes in now. Davis back to goal. Just kicking the ball off his feet. Can do. Oh, he hit the woodwork on the turn. So close, Will Davis.
Oh, my word. That's the closest we've come all night. It's his first touch.
Forward again to Fallowfield, right hand side of the penalty area. Tries to lay it in, and he can't get there, Finley Barnes. Poor ball from Ryan Fallowfield. Now appeals for a free kick. Referee not giving anything there for the foul on Dan Batty. Not sure if it was either. Batty's now back on his feet. Suddenly, a bit of encouragement for the York City supporters.
Yeah, press it home now. Press home. Get that ball in the box. Dorking a little bit nervous. The crowd are willing it in. Much better from City. Just that change of formation. That tinkering seems to have upset Dorking here.
Smith at the back for York. To Sykes Kenworthy, playing sweeper keeper. Now to Howe. 64 minutes gone, still 0-0. Ball headed away by Dorking. Now they're in the centre of the field. Trying to set away the big number 16, Charlie Carter, former Eastleigh man. He can't get there, and he goes through to the York City keeper. Immediately plays it out. Fallowfield down the right. John Lewis stays on side. Round the back of the defenders, needs help in the middle. Oh, then he's overhit that cross by a good 25, 30 yards.
That's, that right in a snapshot there. It's been better from City since they came on, but that final ball, that bit of quality, that bit of composure. Have a touch. Chadwick was on the edge of the box. Roll it back to him. Oh, just too, what's the word? Lacking in composure. That's one word, isn't it? Lacking in composure.
I'm glad you said that, because I could think of lots of words.
Yeah, well,
not many we get away with.
Other words are coming to the forefront of my mind that I couldn't repeat. So, yeah, I ended up with lacking composure. But
Mail.
That's where it needs to be better for York. It really does.
Plays out to Hollis. Down the line, comes off Crooks, thrown to Dorking.
The fans can sense a little bit of a change of urgency in the team. They're trying to push them on, as ever.
Neil Cox is a quiet word in George Frankham's ear there. Of course, they'll be big mates, I would have thought, as well, from their time at Wimbledon together with Neil Ardley. Down the line, Crooks heads away. Batty. Remember, City have not won back-to-back league games in 11 months, not at all this season. That's what they're trying to do tonight, but so far they're struggling to break down Dorking. Barnes, right-hand side. Goes out wide to Fallowfield. Not a great first touch, but he manages to retrieve the ball. Batty, long diagonal ball forward, headed away by Frankham. Woodyard. Carter gets there first, in front of Chadwick, and it's lofted forward onto the head of Smith. Woodyard. Finley Barnes just buys himself a bit of time in the centre of the park. Encouraged to get it forward, but instead he goes back to Crooks. Woodyard down the line to Davies. Davis gets away from two men. Now he's going to be given the foul. He is. The Dorking defender doesn't like the decision, but I think the referee got that right.
Come on, get that ball back in play. Not sure this ball, really, Neil Ardley will not want it to be still for too long now. He'll want the urgency in the team. They want that ball moving. And we just sense that Dorking on a bit of a wobble here.
Chadwick. About to take the free kick.
Just hit this, whip it in, round the penalty spot. Give your players a chance. Tease the goalie out.
In it comes now, into the centre. Flicked on by Davis. Mayall's able to come. No, he misses it, and Crooks puts it wide.
It's a chance, you know. I'm not sure he saw it until the very last moment there, Crooks, but the Dorking defenders seem to dawdle a little bit.
And the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
He's going to get booked before the end of this game, Harrison Mayall.
Well, this is my goal though. The referee does it early. We don't have to go through 10 sequences of time wasting. They'll wait until the 94th minute and then book him, which is ridiculous. It's pointless at that point.
Plays it out from the back into the centre of the park. There's no one there in a white shirt. Easy for Howe to come and get. He gathers it and gives it to Batty. He wins the tackle, then the ball bounces off him. Can't find Finley Barnes. Into touch it goes. Halfway point of the game, still 0-0. But slightly better in the last 5 or so minutes since John Lewis and Will Davis came on. Throw into Dorking then. Inside the York City half. Or the half that York City are attacking, I should say. And that's flicked off for Dorking head, and now it'll be a York City throw in. The far side of the field in front of that empty block of seats. Down the line from Fallowfield. Cleared by Dorking. Fallowfield thought that was going to go into touch, and it didn't. And he puts his arms out to the linesman to say that surely that's gone out, and the linesman says no. And City have to work it all the way back to their goalkeeper. Latest scores then in the National League. Where there are goals. Filed a 4 up at Aldershot. Halifax 1 up against Maidenhead. 1-1 now between Oldham and Bournemouth. Oldham here next Tuesday night. And of course this game's goalless. The game at Solihull was postponed. Throw into York. Just inside the Dorking half of the field. Crooks. Forward to Akinyemi. John Lewis, edge of the area. Holds the ball up well, does John Lewis. Tries to flick it round the corner. Will Davis can't get there. Frankham's going to clear his lines via a deflection for Dorking.
Yeah, the signs that this game could burst into life, but we need to see more on a consistent basis.
Frankham with the throw-in. Down the line, flicked on by Pryor. Finds its way to Will Smith. That's just a big up and under that. He's looking for Will Davis, having his shirt pulled. How can the referee not see that?
His shirt's almost off his back, Will Davis is there. The referee's just gives City the throw in.
Crooks to Woodyard. Back to Crooks to Woodyard. Smith. 20 minutes to go here on BBC Radio York. If you want all the goals, switch across to DAB. Mansfield Town 7, Harrogate Town 2. as Pryor goes to ground with not much of a challenge. And now the ball's in midfield and Dorking have it. John Lewis thought he had a chance there, went in for the tackle, the ball disappeared. Remember, it was Liddell John Lewis that was sent off when these two sides met earlier in the season. Down at Dorking in a 2-2 draw. Neither of York City's goal scorers now on the park. Kuyar got the first goal, of course he's out on loan at Hereford, and Akinyemi with York's second. Ryan Fallowfield did score in this corresponding fixture last year though, where City won by 2-1. Dorking have it in the middle of the park with Pybus to his centre back. Big up and under from Craig. City were hoping that was going to go dead, but Dorking have managed to keep it in play by the corner flag. Now it's found its way out to this right-hand side into the box. Come Dorking, still got it. Still, City haven't cleared their lines, which they will do now with Batty to John Lewis. Just gives away possession so cheaply to Pybus. Back he comes to Pybus, 35 yards from goal. He sends it out to the left-hand side, goes to ground, looking for a foul. Dorking still got the ball. Shot's going to come in. It's blocked by Ryan Fallowfield. Doesn't know where it is. Comes back to the Dorking man. Callum House slips then as he's trying to clear it. And York are going to get ready to make a third substitution because Neil Cox has just called back Paddy McLaughlin. He's going to be coming on in a few minutes as the Northern Irishman. That will be an interesting one. Will it be for Finlay Barnes? Or will it be for one of the other two?
Yes, of course,
more holding midfielders.
Done about his first game for a while, maybe he's feeling it.
Yeah.
John Lewis just keeps giving the ball away at the moment.
Not great control. First touch was to try and control it. Second touch had to be a tackle to try and win the ball back, and he's gifted possession back to Dorking. Now they come forward up towards the edge of the penalty area. Could have had a shot there, Carter, if he wanted to. Instead he went wide right on his left foot. The Dorking man. Still City struggling to clear their line. Just can't get rid of it. Billy Chadwick back there trying to help out, but in a way just making it harder for themselves. Too many cooks. And finally Chadwick does get rid of possession, but again just gives it away to Dorking. So disappointing. Down this right hand side on the stretch, Frankham, and then he goes to ground saying he's been caught, and the referee says yes, and it'll be a free kick to Dorking, and this probably is a chance for McLaughlin to come on.
Yeah, I think obviously steady hands at the ship there, bringing Paddy McLaughlin on. Maybe Dan Batty's tired, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see who is actually coming off. But it probably means another little tinker to the formation if it isn't one of the centre midfielders. Yeah, it's
Batty's number that's on the board.
It is Batty's. There you go. It's going to be a straight swap. Maybe just feeling the tiredness in his legs there, Dan Batty. He's had put a lot of effort in this evening.
What do you make of the performance overall, Ian? Disappointing?
Kind of. I mean, but not a shock. We know where we are as a team. You know, we won on Saturday, but it was a tough old slog. We might win again tonight with another tough old slog, and if that's the case, that's the case. That's where we are. We're nowhere near the finished article yet. So we've got to battle and battle hard and try and win points here and there. But overall, at home, I wanted to see a little bit more, obviously.
Apart from hitting the woodwork, Harrison Mail hasn't really had a save to make. He's had a couple he's dropped on that any goalkeeper should be saving. Yeah. But he's not really had a save to make again.
And that's the frustration, because Dorking haven't really either.
Against a team that Neil Adley says himself are wide open at times. Yeah. Play expansive football. City haven't made it look like that.
No, but we know that's the issue with creativity. We don't miss many chances. You know, it'd be great sat here one day. We'll say, you know, consistently missing loads of chances because it means we're creating them. And at the moment, we just aren't doing that. By the same token, Sykes Kenway's had one save to make. So Dorking are nothing special themselves. It's two teams that are scrapping it out at the moment, and I suppose it's those who can stay in the game longest. They'll be thinking right now, for them to come all the way up here and be 0-0, they'll be thinking they might even be able to snatch it. So City have got to be careful here.
They haven't made a change at Dorking, so that tells you everything you need to know. They're happy with how things are going so far.
Exactly. And what we don't want to happen is what we did to Southend on Saturday and get caught out at the last minute. So we've got to remain solid at the back as well for the full duration.
15 minutes to go. Still goalless. Now John Lewis is penalised for a foul on Tony Craig. Not much has gone right for John Lewis since he came on. But yeah, let's wait and see what the big striker can do. Can he find a little bit more magic? The ball girls have not done York City a great favour here either, because they've been slow to get up again that far side and have put the ball back on the pitch a good 25 yards behind where the free kick needs to be taken, so Dorking can waste some more seconds to go down there and retrieve the ball.
Bless them, mate. Just enjoying the evening.
Free kicks taken by Dorking just inside the York City half, up towards the edge of the area. Flicks off a York body, and then as the cross comes in, it's deflected into touch on this near side. What's going on here? I think the referee thought that the York defender there, Will Smith, was going to need a bit of treatment, but he doesn't. He's just going to try and make sure the throw-in is taken from the right place.
City just got to stay on it, David. You know, the worst case scenario, win a point. Do not lose this match, especially after winning Saturday.
Luke Moore, another man with Wimbledon connections, I think is going to be coming on for Dorking in a second. Long throw into that York City box. Near post, one in the air. Shot's going to come in, it's blocked. Oh, that could have gone anywhere.
Yeah.
Great block from whoever it was in the York City top that put themselves in front of that.
What?
8 goals to 2. EIGHT, I think it would say on the video printer. 8-2.
Yeah.
Harrogate Town.
They say it twice as well, don't they?
Yeah. 8-2. Harrogate Town are trailing at Mansfield Town.
Yeah, right.
Finley Barnes, edge of the Dorking penalty area. Right-hand side, gets a cross in, a deep one. There's no one there in a red shirt. Who's going to fall to Crooks, edge of the area. On the volley, blocked, appeals for handball. Referee says no, quite rightly.
We'd be happy just with 1 goal, wouldn't we?
The ball comes across this near side.
For York,
and that's gone into touch via a deflection off Paddy McLaughlin. That'll be a Dorking throw. Right in front of Neil Ardley and his bench. So Harrogate Town trailing by 8 goals to 2.
I'm guessing this could be a record defeat.
Well, it's certainly a record Football League defeat.
Yeah.
Whether it's a record defeat for Harrogate Town, well, they had a pretty poor side for the first few years when Simon Weaver took over. A lot further down the footballing pyramid, so I'm not sure if it's a record. I'm sure Sharon will be digging into her record books.
As we speak.
As we speak, yes. To let us know if it's a record defeat for Harrogate Town. Or maybe someone else wants to get in touch at BBC York Sport. 81333. Have Harrogate Town ever conceded 8 before? Ball goes behind, far side of the field. 9-2 the score now. Is that the record defeat? We'll find out in a second. Harrogate Town trailing 9-2, or is that Harrogate Town's record defeat? Corner kick, far side of the ground for Dorking.
Either way, harrowing night for Harrogate supporters.
And it comes out. Oh, that's drilled in. Sykes Kenworthy, got both hands to it, punched it up, didn't catch it perfectly, but has managed to get it out of his penalty area.
It just feels like we're under the bit of the cosh here. We're the home team, and Dorking. It's as if Dorking sense there could be something in it for them tonight. That's worrying for me. And
it comes again, too deep from Dorking, goes behind for a goal kick.
Do you know what I mean? It just feels like Dorking are lifting the bar here. If it could be lifted. It's not been a great game again by either teams, but Dorking slightly taking the initiative. City have got to, obviously stay in it, not lose a goal, but
it's Mansfield Town 9, Harrogate Town 2 is the latest score.
9-2.
Are they going to get double figures? Wow.
That is...
Wow.
Yeah.
Going so well as well for Harrogate Town. That must take a lot coming back from Ian.
Do you know what? Sometimes
almost through on goal. Sykes Kenworthy comes to clear for York at the edge of his box. He's claiming he was taken out late. Referee's going to call play back.
It might be better than it's a ridiculous.
He's getting a yellow card out to the Dorking striker here as well. It's Charlie Carter that goes into the book.
Yeah, the Harrogate one. Because you can put it down to a freak result, can't you? If you're a manager, that's how you dress it up.
Freak 9 down to a freak result.
Well, yeah, because it is a freak result, isn't it? 9.
It is, but you can't just write it off, can you?
You have to. You can't dwell on a 9, and they've been doing well recently. That's why you put that down as a freak result, and you move on to the next game. Take all the stick that's coming your way, because undoubtedly there will be some. But yeah, 9-2. It's not over yet.
Substitution for Dorking Wanderers, number 18, Luke Moore.
So Moore is on.
6, Niall McManus.
Luke Moore comes on. Reminds me of you, Ian.
Oh, what is svelte body?
That's it, exactly. Yeah, the number 18.
Nothing to do with the fact he's got not
Throw
a
into
follicle of hair
York
on his
City,
head.
taken quickly, cross into the box, a deep one, headed away by Dorking. And now picked up on the edge of his area by Carter. He's still got it as well. He's got away from a York City man on that far side. Good tackle comes in, and City are able to clear. And then the Dorking defender over that far side misplaces his header into touch. 10 minutes to go here. Never mind the 11 goals that are at Field Mill. We've got none.
Just give us a goal, City.
Just give us a goal.
Just give us a goal. We'll go mental. One will do it.
How? Back to Sykes Kenworthy. To Will Smith. Tim's got to go searching as well for Sam Weaver at Field Mill for the top tier of that stand. Deary me. It's a good job at times, this, but there are other times where you probably ought to be anywhere but. Speaking to the manager after his side have conceded 9, we're still time to concede 10.
All interviews would be off.
Crooks, to be honest, you just ask him what happened.
Yeah.
It should be a relatively straightforward interview tonight, if not a particularly fun one to conduct. Crooks over the top, looking for Chadwick, who again has been relatively anonymous, I'm afraid to say, for York City.
Yeah, big disappointment for me, because I know it takes time. You've got to give him time, and he's still young, it's still early days, but you kind of want to just see a little bit more from him. I'm not sure he's in his ideal position out here on the left. I don't know.
8 minutes to go. What's the referee saying? Oh, he's saying, Billy Chadwick, your shin pads come out, you need to put that back in. Yep. Well spotted, referee. Eagle-eyed as always, Richard Aspinall. Throw-in taken down the line by Frankham. That's gone straight out of play. That should be a York City throw-in. Yep, came in, then blew out. Crooks. Up towards the edge of the area. John Lewis didn't really make an attempt to play the ball there, the York City captain. Well, then Smith's tried to shepherd Carter out of play. Hasn't managed to do so. Dorking have it. Howe clears to Frankham. He comes back in field and goes back to Hollis. Very much bits and pieces performance from York City tonight. To Frankham. I think the disappointing thing is, Ian, lots of people will have come here tonight. We know the stats maybe should tell us better, but lots of people will come here expecting York City to have won tonight. Yeah, because we won on Saturday, you know, I think we were honest, and you know, it was a very fortunate win on Saturday. It was born from determination and effort, which we need. But it doesn't mean that we're the finished article by any stretch. And coming here tonight, yeah, maybe me included, you know, I think it's more wanting more than expecting. It's not, you know, an early goal maybe would have settled them into the game a bit quicker, but it's just been, it's not been great. It could go either way. You would not be surprised if Dorking got a winner here, or York City, because we know they do come on late in games. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, can we grind out another win here? If we can, you know, momentum goes through the roof and belief that you can do that, and that's where they're at the moment with another 6-7 minutes. One goal changes this Dorking
game.
have probably had more possession without really doing much with it in this game.
No, they haven't. Yeah, they've slugged away as well. But City still here.
Slugged, that's a good word.
Yeah.
It's been a slugfest, which is generally not a good thing in football in terms.
No.
Cleared by Dorking. McLaughlin brings it down. Needs someone to pass to, though. Crooks. That's just a big up and under down the left-hand side. And then the Dorking defender plays it off. Will Davies into touch for a Dorking throw-in. Level with the edge of their own penalty area. 6 minutes to go. Still 0-0. Here on BBC Radio York. Throwing down the line. Pryor flicks it on. Crooks heads clear. Only as far as a white shirt. Now they try and spread the play to Dorking down the left-hand side. To Tom Blair. Blair's going to run at Fallowfield. Still got it as Blair's got it out over. He's coming. Space opened up. Blair into the box. Takes the shot. It's the inside the bar. It's the back of the net. How has he been allowed to run 20, 30 yards and then shoot from 30 yards? He hit the underside of the bar. Sykes Kenworthy had no chance. What a brilliant finish from Tom Blair coming in off that left-hand side. The Dorking players all run to Mark White. Big hugs on the touchline. Now Mark White's turning around to the supporters, waving his finger at the York City supporters. He gives them the big fist up. Dorking, it looks, they're going to steal the points. They lead 1-0.
At any level of football, David, you can't let someone run, 20, 30 yards from the middle of the pitch to the goal. It's a great goal, don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic strike, but he had acres to set himself up. There's no challenge.
It just opened up.
It laid the pattern of the waves, it really did. I mean, there's a lot to do after that, bear in mind. It's a fantastic strike. Sykes Kenworthy had no chance, but when a player gets so much time, you know what's coming.
There's some York City fans have seen enough as well, Ian. That's the signal for them to head for the exit gates.
Well, yeah.
There is still time.
There is still time. We mustn't give up on this team because they've shown in the past they can get goals in the last minute, but we were hoping it was going to be a winning goal, not an equaliser.
Ball forward. John Lewis couldn't get the ball there. Dorking clear. You have to give Blair credit. It's an absolutely brilliant finish and run.
It's a beautiful
but it just
strike.
opened up. As soon as he cut past Ryan Fallowfield, who seemed to be wrong-footed, couldn't get back. Just opened up. The midfield was completely non-existent. And then, of course, the defenders never went and closed him down. He had to say, go on, mate, you have a shot. You ain't going to beat our goalkeeper from here.
Yeah.
And he said, I am.
It's a 1 in a million strike. Unfortunately for City, he's caught it perfectly well. It's a fantastic goal. It's just how it got there is so disappointing.
Well, York City have gone down the other end and have won a corner. They're second of this second half, 5th overall. Dorking getting ready to make a change.
Well, they need to find an equaliser, David. You know, you'll take 4 points from these 2 games right now.
Corner kick, deep one, high, onto the head of Howe, couldn't keep it down over the bar, it goes. Now the change can be made.
Oh, City, what are we going to do? What can we do?
Harry Ottaway's coming on here. Harry Ottaway's got number 24 on his back down there. The team sheet says he has number 22. Oh well, there we go.
There's a lot of people leaving. They think it's over.
Dorking man's gone down in the centre of the field.
But you know, it's exactly what we decided. Dorking will go away tonight and saying they've slugged it out and they've managed to hit us, and that's exactly what's happened.
At BBC York Sport 81333 on the text. If you want to send in messages to us.
I wouldn't mind, but we sort of 10-15 minutes ago were saying that it felt like Dorking had a belief that they could get something out of this game. They were the team that were pushing, and that I'm not sure that should have happened really, but it was clear. You could see it.
Harry Ottaway replacing 9 Jason Pryor.
There you go, Ottaway for Pryor, striker for striker. Long ball downfield. Callum Howe wins the header. McLaughlin, Woodyard with the up and under. Crooks at the back, scuffs his clearance as far as McLaughlin. Gets a second chance to go forward. John Lewis chests it round the corner, looking for Chadwick. He can't get there. He's frustrated, he's Billy Chadwick. Now Mark White down there telling everyone to get up, push up. Stop defending so deep, he tells his side. We've got 90 seconds to go. Well, we got the goal, but it's gone the wrong way, I'm afraid. York City 0, Dorking Wanderers 1. Long ball forward from Sykes Kenworthy, flicked on by Davis. Chadwick round the corner, looking for Davis. Got lots of bodies back. Davis is clipped. This is a perfect position here for a free kick. Just left of centre, just outside the D, about 22, 23 yards from goal for York City.
We could do with something special here, David. We really could. Billy Chadwick's lined up. This could be a real spark moment for his City career if he could pull one out of the bag for us.
Part-time team, of course, Dorking. They only had 1 training session the last week. If you listen to Mark White, if you believe, I'm not sure he's...
Yeah, not sure.
Maybe economical at times, but yeah,
I mean,
most definitely. Long journey up today. They've got to go back tonight.
The Dorking goalie's he's only halfway up the post. He's a small. He looks a small keeper.
Oh, he's a small keeper.
Surely.
It's a massive wall they're lining up here.
It is.
6 in the wall. But it's now 5 with the draft excluder as well. Pybus has gone down on the floor. Chadwick's over it. This would be a good time to get your first goal for the club, Billy.
It really would.
Or Finley Barnes, take your pick. Chadwick with his right foot, Barnes with his left. Referee's whistle. Chadwick, right-footed, into the top of the wall. Gets the ball back.
Don't lose it, lad.
Can't control it.
Don't lose it.
Don't lose it, 'cause you've got the break on. Oh, and then there's going to be another free kick as Taylor comes through the back of him. Chadwick gets ready to
get launched.
Launch it again.
Yeah, and you've got to win the seconds.
We've got 4 seconds to go. Then it comes now.
Oh, it's behind everybody.
It is behind everyone. Crooks can't get there. It's a terrible free kick. And the referee says that's a foul by Adam Crooks on the Dorking man. They've got 2 men gone to ground now in the penalty area. He gives the decision. 5 minutes goes up on the board. Terrible free kick from Chadwick.
For me, I was just going to say, for me, David, from the angle it's at, it seemed harder to do what he did, which is keep it out of the box.
Across to the far side.
Put it in the box. The keeper's knee-high to a grasshopper. Challenge him. You know, make him come out and... have we put anything under the keeper tonight? That'll be my big frustration, that this keeper, look at this, you know, no disrespect, he might have a great lead, might be a great shot stopper. I don't know, because we haven't tested him. I have no idea how good their keeper is at coming for crosses. No idea.
This is going to be interesting. Oh, we've not given, I thought it was going to be the man of the match. So just Robert Havercroft a minute or so late with the 5 minutes. They're going to run to the corner flag now at the far side of Dorking. Who would you give the York City man of the match to, Ian? I know that's not an easy question to answer.
You probably...
the crowd for turning up.
Yeah. Yeah.
As a fan just walks past us, gets halfway down the stand, turns around, just shakes his head at me.
Sykes
and decides to have a sit down.
Yeah, probably George Sykes kept for the save he made. And he had no chance with the goal.
He clears long, does Sykes Kenworthy. On to header Frankham. Now down this right-hand side for Crooks to head clear. McLaughlin beaten to it, falls to Chadwick. Crooks clears again, gives away possession. The white shirts in the middle of the park, win it back, and then they nod it forward all the way through to Sykes Kenworthy. They've played almost 2 of the 5 minutes that have been added on. Sykes Kenworthy clears, flicks off a Dorking man's head. Will Davis can't do anything with it. Dorking once again clear. Yeah, Mark White's going through those bottles of water down there. I think he might be having something a little bit stronger than water at full time for the journey home.
This Dorking team, you know.
We might be seeing him at the back of the stand in a bit.
Yeah.
I imagine he'll be in there loading up.
They're just launching it long.
Dorking men, that's got to be offside if Ottaway bothered running after it, so he doesn't.
Yeah.
And City clear their lines with Smith. Long ball straight on the centre of the field. Though. So easy to defend, that is.
We've run out of ideas, David, I'm afraid. We've run out of ideas. Not that we've had a load of them this evening.
No. Carter down this right-hand side. Carter pulls McLaughlin down. That'll be the referee's given the free kick to Dorking. Oh, dearie me. And he's furious with John Lewis, is Neil Ardley. But the referee's given the free kick to Dorking. The linesman got it spot on and gave it to York. 4177 the attendance. 99 from Dorking. The referee's had a howler there.
This isn't one of the problems.
And Howe's gone across to tell him, look, the linesman is right in front of, gave us the free kick. You've gone the other way. Dan Batty with the man of the match. Dorking even think it's a York City free kick. Look at them setting up for a defensive, for York City to launch it, and yeah, it's Dorking that have got the decision. No one can believe this. I know they're trying to just hold on to what they've got. Now they're going to play it down to the corner flag, I would have thought. Yeah, they're going to hold it on this near side. Played 3.5 of the 5. Of Harrogate Town escaped, they've only conceded the 9. We'll let you know shortly. Will Davis flicks it on. John Lewis tries to spread the play, gives away possession.
You know, sorry, but that, I'm afraid, just isn't...
Oh, and it's sent long all the way through to Harry Ottaway in the York City penalty area. Takes on the shot, blasts it over the bar. Should have done better. Sorry, Ian.
Just a snapshot there. The ball comes into John Lewis. He actually controls it, but the pass is just to nobody. Nobody. Nobody's got a chance. And it's not just him. It's throughout the whole team. The passing hasn't been... You know, since that first 5 minutes, really hasn't been crisp, it hasn't been sharp, it hasn't been, you know, you're making it difficult for your mate to control it. Some of the passes are bobblers.
Pybus clears long, Smith heads it back to his goalkeeper. 40 seconds to go.
Come on, City. Need a goal.
Kenworthy. Clears.
He's got to be a challenge.
Header. not once but twice for Dorking. Into touch it goes, the ball ends up with the Dorking fans. Mark White laughing and joking with the fourth official. Who can blame him? We need a new ball, which is sent on by Tony McMahon to Callum Howe. Neil Hardy's still trying to give instructions. Now the ball's thrown onto the pitch by the Dorking fans. Now we've got a second ball. Sykes Kenworthy's able to clear into touch. Sykes Kenworthy has it. Long ball down the centre of the field from him. Straight again to a white shirt, unchallenged header. Not once, not twice,
they're winning every
3
seconds.
times.
They're winning
That's
every
not good enough.
seconds as well, yeah. I think City, I'm afraid, they look like a beaten team right now.
Into touch, York City throwing again in front of the Dorking fans. Sykes Kenworthy should have taken that. Instead he's giving it to Smith. Now Sykes Kenworthy, the referee's going to blow the whistle any second. City going to lose this game by a goal to 0. Long ball downfield, flicked on by Davis. Chadwick controls in his chest. Little ball over the top, cleared by Dorking back to halfway. Referee still allows play to go on. Smith. Hattle beaten to it. Dorking go forward down their left. Surely that is it.
And they have been so awkward to play against since the goal, haven't they? Dorking, they just kicked it away and not allowed City to get any real pattern of play going.
Throw in taken again. Sykes Kenworthy. The referee still allowing play to go on. Sykes Kenworthy don't get as much distance on that as he would have liked. Flicks off.
Hit it.
Howe, 30 yards from goal. He does hit it. Now it falls to Chadwick. Chadwick gets the shot in all the way through to Mail. Controls his feet and he picks it up. And that surely now will be it. It is. Dorking win by 1-0. Mark White turns around to the York City fans, raises one finger to the sky, points at them all as if saying, we got one, you got nothing. Now he shakes hands with his mate Neil Ardley. Do you know what, Ian? I think the way Dorking defended there, as City did at Southend, I think they probably deserved their 1-0 win. City just weren't at the races at times.
They've come up north and did what we did last against Southend. They've battled their way to a win. Very scrappy, very not pretty at all. Both teams are poor. But yeah, they've battled and they've got that wonder goal. It's where we are, I'm afraid. We don't know what we're going to get.
It's a wonder goal from Tom Blair, but it's terrible defending from York City. Blair picked up the ball on the left wing on the halfway. It was allowed to come in field and just keep driving forward to the edge of that York City penalty area. No one closed him down. Didn't seem as though anyone attempted to close him down. And he thought, you know what, I'm going to have a pop. And he blasted it. Sykes Kenworthy could do absolutely nothing about it. Hit the underside of the bar, bounced down into the turf, up into the roof of the net. And that's all it takes for Dorking Wanderers to take all 3 points away from the LNER Community Stadium. Looking for back-to-back wins for the first time in 11 months. That wait will go on, Sharon. A very, very poor and disappointing performance once again from York City tonight. They've been beaten by a 0-0.
Thanks, David. Thanks, Ian. If we get reaction before 10, we'll bring you it here on BBC Radio York from that one. Defeat for York City and, my goodness, defeat for Harrogate Town in League 2. Tim Steer.
Yes, it's been a chastening night here at Field Mill for Harrogate Town. They have lost at Mansfield Town by 9-2. They were 5-0 down at half-time, and Mansfield got a 6 through Lucas Aiken's second of the game on the 61 minutes. Sorry, Hiram Boateng completing his hat-trick on 50 minutes. That made it 6-0. And then 2 goals in 2 minutes from Harrogate Town, from George Thompson and Abraham Odo, made it 6-2. And brought a little bit of respectability, if not very much, to the scoreline. But Mansfield just continued to be ruthless. Lucas Aiken second on 61 minutes. 2 for Will Swan, including an absolute stunner on 77 minutes, curling it into the top left corner to make it 8-2. And the night was well and truly rounded off with a 9th for Mansfield. As the Harrogate Town players going to applaud what fans are left that have made the trip down the A1. And for those fans who have stayed to the end, they are applauding Simon Weaver, who has gone over to them to applaud them. But it is a night that nobody at Harrogate Town will ever forget. Thankfully for them, they have another game coming up on Saturday away at Crewe, because they've got to get this one out of their minds as quick as possible. The full-time score at Field Mill, Mansfield Town 9, Harrogate Town 2.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks also to Paul Bolland, who's been alongside him this evening in that game on DAB. So not a happy evening for either of North Yorkshire's sides as far as our commentary games are concerned. Elsewhere, a result in the Northern Counties East League Premier Division. Pickering Town beat Barton Town by 5-4. That was a bit cat and mouse as well in the second half. And Tadcaster Albion losing 1-0 at Silsden in the same division. In the North Riding Senior Cup, after normal time, Gisborough 1, Scarborough Athletic 1. Penalties currently in progress in that game. If you want to get in touch with us, we would love to hear from you. Get your comments in. We are here with you until 10. 81333 is the number on the text. Please start your message with the word York. Tweet us at BBC York Sport or on WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Please start your message with the word York and tell us who you are if you're getting in touch with us. Some of you already been in touch pretty sharpish at that final whistle. Thank you very much. Before we have a look at what you've been saying, let's go through this evening's scores. In the Champions League, these two kicked off at 8, so they're still playing. FC Copenhagen 1, Manchester City 2, RB Leipzig 0, Real Madrid 1. In the Championship, Birmingham City 1, Blackburn Rovers 0 is a result. So is Leicester City 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Norwich City 4, Watford 2, Rotherham United 1, Hull City 2, Swansea 0, Leeds United 4. Latest scores, Bristol City 3, Southampton 0, West Brom 2, Cardiff City 0. Into League 1, these are results, Bolton 2, Wickham 1. A latest is Charlton 1, Lincoln City 1, Cheltenham 2, Blackpool 0, Exeter 0, Derby County 3, Fleetwood 1, Reading 1, Leyton Orient 4, Northampton 3, Oxford United 4, Wigan 2, Portsmouth 3, Cambridge United 1, Shrewsbury 1, Barnsley 1, Stevenage 2, Bristol Rovers 3. In League 2, Accrington Stanley 2, Wimbledon 0, Barrow 1, Forest Green 2, Bradford City 4, MK Dons 0, Crawley 1, Walsall 1, Mansfield 9, Harrogate Town 2, Newport County 1, Notts County 3, Salford 2, Doncaster 2, Sutton 1, Wrexham 2, Tranmere 2, Morecambe 3. And still to be confirmed as results, Gillingham 2, Swindon 2, Newport County 1, Crewe 3. In the National League, Aldershot 0, Fylde 5, Oldham 2, Boreham Wood 1, York City 0, Dorking 1, and a latest score, Halifax 2, Maidenhead United 1. Let's have a quick look then at the league table, starting off with the National League. York City 18th in the table, 3 points above Woking, who occupy the last of the bottom 4 as such. Dorking behind them now, only on goal difference. And in League 2, it's almost as if Harrogate Town had some credits in the bank, really, because it hasn't done too much to the table. Harrogate Town are in 8th place. They've fallen out of the playoff places. They're outside it again on goal difference, can you believe it or not? 8th with 47 points from 31 games. Mansfield 2nd in the table, a point behind the leaders Stockport, who are losing 3-1 to Crewe, who were 3rd. So very strong top 3, shall we say. Crewe, of course, Harrogate Town's opponents coming up very, very shortly indeed, as in Saturday. And we'll have commentary of that game here on BBC Radio York. We'll also have a look at what you've been saying as well very shortly.
Georgie Spanswick at breakfast.
BBC Radio York.
Now, lots of talk over the last few days about Declan from the operations department's new haircut, because you've had a mullet, haven't you?
It was quite brave.
So what does he need to do now to look after this sharp new look? I use the term loosely. It's only the hairdresser to the stars that is Andrew Barton. Andrew, he's had a mullet. What do we think?
Oh, I quite like that look. No, that's got a tick from me.
Oh, no!
Yes!
I can't be having this.
I'm into that.
Georgie Spanswick at breakfast.
Weekdays from 6.
BBC Radio York.
Let's have a look at what you've been saying so far on the text. Carl said, well, Twitter to start with. Carl says there was an inevitability about their goal. No doubt the players work hard, but there was such a lack of quality. This is about York City, especially in their half, says Carl. Really disappointed tonight. Nick, a Harrogate Town fan, says some food for thought for Harrogate Town tonight. He's posted a headline that says Tottenham players to refund travelling fans after defeat at Newcastle United. I think we all know where he's heading with that one. Noddy on Twitter says, wrangled a work trip up and that was dire. I'm sure Ardley will have all his numbers ready post-match, but the players look one-paced and unsure of the shape they were supposed to be playing. Awful City. Horrible game, says James. Chadwick awful, and what's the obsession with taking Depot off when he's our best player and only goal threat? And finally, for now, about York City, Muzz says terrible game of football. Ardley's rule of only playing his striker for 60 minutes at a time is completely pointless. No way Depot was done when he came off, and Chadwick was an absolute passenger for the full 90 minutes, says Muzz. Let's go back to the LNER Community Stadium. That 1-0 defeat for York City at home to Dorking, and a disappointing evening, David Ward.
Oh, yeah, that's one way of putting it, Sharon. Very, very disappointing evening. They just never really got started. After the first couple of minutes where they came out like a house on fire, and they had the 3 corners within, just over 2 minutes, and came pretty close to scoring with Finlay Barnes, they hit the woodwork in the second half with a pop shot, Ian, but from Will Davis just after he came on. But that was it across the 96 minutes we ended up playing, 97 minutes.
Yeah, I'm scratching my head trying to work out what we created throughout that 90 minutes other than the 2 instances you just mentioned. It was just one of those performances again where you're hoping that something's going to happen rather than expecting it, and that isn't going to be good enough going forward. You know, at Southend, you called it, you feel like you're almost getting away with it. It was a battle, and we managed to get the 3 points with a goal. And what's happened tonight is Dorking have come and basically done a similar thing, and they've maybe outworked us at times, been really awkward to play against. And they've hit, I mean, it's a wonder goal, but I would question the defending, you know, to run 20 yards with no challenge whatsoever. Still a lot of work for him to do to rifle it into the top corner off the crossbar, but should never really got there. And City just nowhere during the 90 minutes. You never sat there thinking, here we go, you know, building up a steam of pressure, and you should end up with a goal. You don't have that feeling with York City at the moment, and it is where we are. We have to keep reminding ourselves. It's a little reminder of where we are. We won on Saturday, but I don't think Neil Ardley will be confused by that. He knows where we are as a team, and he will have not. It's like me and you said before the game. We didn't know what was going to happen tonight. You could go and win 1-0. You could go and lose 1-0. That's where we are. We're not a team that's confidently going to sweep teams away.
Billy Chodwick's getting a lot of attention from the people who've got in touch with us already this evening. We've said during commentary, I think that was his 6th game tonight, his 5th start. We haven't seen anything yet, have we?
No, but we know there's a player there. We've seen him. We've seen it at Gateshead. You know, I can't put my finger on it. Is he not playing in the right position, or is it pressure of coming to York City? It's a tough one. It's still early days in his York City career, of course, but you feel as though you've got to start seeing something of note. And at the moment, it's not. You're not really seeing anything. We're seeing hard work. He's running around, but yeah, we're not seeing enough from him. But it'd be cruel to write him off just yet. He's very early days in his career, but I think for him, he needs a spark somewhere along the line. And I thought it would be tonight. To be honest, I thought this was set up for him tonight in an attacking team to go out there. But are we getting the right kind of surface into his feet so that he can get on the ball and be creative? I'm kind of scratching my head and maybe looking for excuses for him, but it's not just him. It's the whole team. As a team, going forward, we just look a little bit bereft of ideas. I think, real quality, but that's where we are. We know this. This isn't a new thing.
No, and I still think we're still the same persuasion that we think this squad, this team, will have enough to stay in the National League. But again tonight, we've been beaten by a team that were in the bottom 4 at home. They've now gone level with points with York City. It shows how tight it could be between now and the end of the season.
Yeah, no team's good enough too good to go down. We know this. The worry is that teams around us are winning. Talking tonight, this tonight felt a real opportunity to put some space in between. A lot of teams in between sort of the relegation place and safety. And it just felt we've missed an opportunity, but we don't really deserve much tonight, I don't think. And I'm not trying to sound too cruel or harsh or anything. We didn't, if we'd have won again, it would have been another hard battled performance, and you take them all day long. But I think tonight was a reminder again that this squad right now isn't anywhere near where Neil Ardley wants it to be, and it will keep throwing in performances like this. But we've got to keep picking up points because it is getting tetchy down there.
Dan Batty named man of the match on his return, his first start. How do you think he did, and Finlay Barnes, who made his full debut?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't play. The team didn't play well, but I felt Dan Batty got some minutes in his legs. He looks composed on the ball. Is he going to create opportunities? I don't think he's that kind of a player. But him and Woodyard hopefully will strike up. Going forward, we'll hopefully strike up a solid midfield that allows the attacking players that we do eventually get into the team and get confidence. allow them to play a bit. It's a decent midfield, but it needs reinforcement by creativity from somewhere.
Yeah, where's that somewhere going to be, though, Sharon? They do need reinforcements. They do need to get some more creativity. Because, quite frankly, at times tonight, that just wasn't good enough, I think, for the majority of York City fans inside the LNER Community Stadium.
Yeah, that's been echoed on what we're seeing on the text and on WhatsApp and on Twitter as well. I will not have time to read all your comments this evening, but we'll go through some very shortly. Let's just get some more thoughts about the Harrogate Town game. If you're disappointed as a City fan, could be worse. You could be a Harrogate Town fan. 9-2 this evening at Mansfield. Tim Steer, we say about York City disappointing. I don't know how you're going to find the words to go through what happened in this one.
It's a very difficult one to process, really, considering the high that there was at the weekend with that 92nd minute winner against Colchester to send them into the playoff places for the first time this season, put them into 7th and get people thinking, well, who knows what's possible for Harrogate Town this season, the perennial underdog, and they found their way into the playoff places, and if they can keep it up, then you never know. But tonight Mansfield were just ruthless. You know, they're second in the table and they're clearly going to be a very, very good team, but Harrogate gave the penalty away early on. That led to the first goal, and really from that moment on, they looked broken, they looked shaken, and they were giving the ball away, and every time they did, it either led to a shot on goal or a goal. Basically, Mansfield were just ruthless. They were clinical, and they carried it on in the second half. They kept chasing and harassing everything, and Harrogate were trying to play it out from the back, but again, just giving it away, and it seemed like every opportunity that fell Mansfield's way, they scored with it. And it's very rare that you see that, but it really was ruthless. I mean, credit to the Town players. They got a couple of goals in the second half to make it 6-2 at one stage, showing a little bit of grit and a bit of fight, but I imagine Simon Weaver will say, well, that's the bare minimum I expected after going 6-0 down. But it's a hard one to really swallow based on how things have been going and how solid they've been as a defence overall in the league this season. To go from the 6th best defence in the league to suddenly finding yourself on the back of a 9-2 scoreline, there's no other way of dressing it up. It's embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing for the Harrogate Town players. And amazingly, there were some Harrogate fans that stayed to the end, and they did applaud the players, because I think from a Harrogate Town fan perspective, what's yelling abuse at them going to do? They're already crushed after losing the game by 9-2, and ultimately they're still 9th in the table. They're still on for their best ever Football League season, their highest ever season as a Football League club. So there's a lot still left to go in the season, and I suppose that's the thing now, really, is that they've got to try and ensure that this doesn't absolutely shatter their confidence for the rest of the campaign, and that they don't tail off as a result. But it doesn't get any easier with the trip to Crewe on Saturday, but at least they've got another game coming up quick, and that's all they've got to focus on now, and just try and forget about this if you can.
Yeah, if you can. I think there'll be a few scars, left after this one. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Paul Bolland, as well, alongside him this evening at Mansfield. Clearly, we won't hear from Simon Weaver now before 10 o'clock, so we will let you hear some of that tomorrow morning in our breakfast show and in our bulletins. And, of course, put the interview online on BBC Sounds a little bit later this evening. We'll tweet out the link when we've done it. Likewise, Neil Ardley at York City. David and Ian still at the LNER Community Stadium, still waiting to get reaction from York City after their 1-0 defeat against Dorking. So let's have a look at what you've been saying for the next few minutes. We're here with you until 10 o'clock on the text and on WhatsApp and Twitter as well. James says, are we still not allowed to question Ardley? His subs and game management was so negative today against a part-time team below us in the table and at home. That was awful, says a horse from Howden. Simple as that, nothing else added. This one says York were woeful, no passion, no desire, no flair. Dorking came to do a job and did it well. We were clueless, he says. I'll keep following Stenhousemuir. That's Yorkshire Warrior and his brother Tibbles. Not heard from you for a while, Tibbles. Hope you're well. Sam in York says, poor from York, sloppy in possession, lazy without. Once again, carrying players. Batty looked good, but Akinyemi and Chadwick offered nothing today. It's York City, though, so we will win 1-0 next weekend. Sam adds as well that additionally, the back 3 is better for us. We look more solid with it, but really need to find a way to get the ball forward and into the box. JJT says, really glad that feeling full of cold I stayed at home. Dips looks well off the pace, better as a second half sub for now. City a misfiring engine, too few chances created and no one ready to take it. Oscar says that was awful. I said months ago about the manager perhaps not being good enough, and that seals it. Depot being subbed off was such a poor decision. Relegation could be on the cards if we play like that. Jay says fair play to Dorking. It was a 50-50 game and they have come out of it with 3 points. More positives for them considering that they're a part-time unit still. Again, we've conceded a goal where players haven't put enough pressure on players, and fair enough, it was a wonder strike. But far too often, says Jay, when our players... when that ball gets into the area between the halfway and our area, we're too happy for opposing teams to hold the ball and build up. Yet when we do it ourselves, team press and pressure us from the get-go. It seems at times you want to play around the pitch and work the ball in, and then at times you want to go route one. Not happy this evening, Jay, as are many of you as York City fans that have gone in touch with us this evening. And apologies for not being able to get through all your comments tonight. We're back with commentary on Saturday afternoon, of course, with that game for Harrogate Town and York City. We'll see what Saturday brings. Tim Steer is with you tomorrow evening from 6 o'clock. Coming up next after the news is The Late Show. Whatever you're doing, have a good night.